all of those key locations, including at the airport right now, to bring you live, uninterrupted images of this. Now, remember, on India Today, we've been covering the political fight that's been going on over Ayodhya, but we will not be ignoring the civilizational devotion, the mood on the ground, the faith of millions that stands validated today. Let's just listen into these ground reports for a moment now.
जो प्रधानमंत्री के लिए यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं, अब देखिए दूसरी तरफ भी आपको वो पूरी तैयारी दिखेगी, क्योंकि प्रधानमंत्री जब आखिर में आएंगे घूमकर तो उस ओर की भी वो तस्वीर रहेगी। अब पूरी मोर पंखों को लगाकर श्री कृष्ण नृत्य कर रहे हैं गोपियों संग, या फिर जो आम लोग हैं अभिनंदन कर रहे हैं प्रधानमंत्री का। यहाँ पर वो तमाम संत जो यहाँ पुष्प वर्षा कर रहे हैं प्रधानमंत्री के आने पर, ये सारे के सारे पीएम को देख ले। अब देखिए पीएम का जो काफिला इस समय आगे बढ़ रहा है, कुछ देर के लिए यहाँ पर वो रुकते हुए दिख रहे हैं। वो तमाम गाड़ियां अब प्रधानमंत्री की गाड़ी यहां से अब बहुत धीमी गति से आगे बढ़ने वाली है। प्रधानमंत्री भी अपनी गाड़ी से यहां पर निकलते हुए आपको दिखेंगे, क्योंकि वो इसी तरीके से गाड़ी से निकलकर और लोगों का अभिवादन स्वीकार करेंगे। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी अपनी गाड़ी से बाहर निकलकर और उनके साथ उनका पूरा सुरक्षा डिटेल, लोग पुष्प वर्षा प्रधानमंत्री पर यहां कर रहे हैं। और अब इसी तरीके से प्रधानमंत्री इस पूरे रोड शो को अपने पूरा करने वाले हैं। इस रोड शो की पूरा जो दायरा है वो कुछ इसी तरीके से जहां जहां लोग खड़े हैं वहां करने वाले हैं। पीछे आपने मंत्रोच्चार करते हुए साधुओं को देखा था, अब वो जो बाल अर्चक हैं उन्हें देखिए डमरू किस तरीके से बजा रहे हैं। यहाँ पर डमरू बजाकर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का स्वागत कर रहे हैं। यहाँ छोटे छोटे पंडित जो अपनी दीक्षा ही ले रहे हैं अभी, वो प्रधानमंत्री को प्रणाम कर रहे हैं, वो प्रधानमंत्री पर फूलों की वर्षा कर रहे हैं। और पीएम पूरी खुशी के साथ सड़क के दोनों ओर, यानी कि ये चौड़ी सड़क है जिसमें दो ओर से आने और जाने का रास्ता है, दूसरी तरफ भी सांस्कृतिक आयोजन करके रखे गए हैं। प्रधानमंत्री दोनों ओर के लोगों का अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए, ये जो सारा विकास है, ये जो सारा आप सड़कों का चौड़ीकरण देख लीजिए, या फिर इस पूरे क्षेत्र में देखिए फूलों से कितनी सुंदरता से सजाया गया है इस पूरे क्षेत्र को। और रातों रात यहाँ पर काम किया गया है, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा निर्माण अयोध्या नगरी में इस समय चल रहा है। वो पूरी आप उस जगह को अगर देखिए तो प्रधानमंत्री केवल लोगों के उस अभिवादन को नहीं स्वीकार करते हुए, बल्कि एक नजर उनकी इस बात पर भी कि अयोध्या नगरी बदली कितनी, अयोध्या नगरी में विकास कितना हुआ, और एक नजर में वो समीक्षा करते हुए भी उन्हें आगे यहाँ से चलते रहना है। तो प्रधानमंत्री की गाड़ी बेहद धीमी रफ्तार से चलते हुए, लगभग समझ लीजिए 10 किलोमीटर के आसपास की रफ्तार से चलते हुए, ताकि लोग जो हैं उनसे उनकी भेंट एक तरीके से अपनी गाड़ी के भीतर ही रहते हुए सही, लेकिन वो भेंट हो जाए। अब देखिए यहाँ पर महर्षि वेद विज्ञान विद्यापीठ के जो छात्र, वो यहाँ पर और यहाँ पर किसी अलग अलग जगहों से आए हुए लोग जो नृत्य कर रहे हैं, वो सब यहाँ पर लगे हुए हैं। कहीं नृत्य हो रहा है, कहीं जो पंडित हैं वो मंत्रोच्चार के साथ यहाँ पर खड़े हैं। दरअसल हम अभी मुख्य शहर में मौजूद नहीं है। मुख्य शहर के जब हिस्से में हम जाएंगे वहां की आबादी अलग आपको घनी दिखेगी। ये उस हाईवे का हिस्सा है जहां से प्रधानमंत्री इस समय गुजर रहे हैं। यहाँ पर बसावट बहुत अधिक नहीं है, लेकिन यहाँ जो सांस्कृतिक प्रदर्शन के लिए जो लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं वो सब यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं। तो इन सब का स्वागत, अभिनंदन करते हुए आगे की तरफ जब प्रधानमंत्री बढ़ेंगे तो आप शहर की ओर एक अलग तस्वीर देखेंगे। यहाँ देखिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के स्वागत में एक और सांस्कृतिक प्रदर्शन आपको यहाँ पर दिखेगा। लोग जय श्री राम के नारों के साथ और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के लिए नारों के साथ स्वागत उनका कर रहे हैं। अब जिस हिस्से से होकर हम गुजरेंगे वो अयोध्या नगरी के सौंदर्यीकरण का ही हिस्सा है। आप देखेंगे वो सारे रंग आपको दिखेंगे, कामधेनु से लेकर शंख तक, चक्र, दीप, गदा, ओम, ये सारी तस्वीरें आप देखते हुए, श्री राम की पताका लहराती हुई, वो सारे रंग यहाँ पर बिखरे हुए। और इसके आगे हम बहुत ही जल्दी उस वीणा चौक की ओर पहुंचेंगे, जहां से फिर शहर की ओर हम प्रवेश कर पाएंगे। तो ये पूरा हिस्सा सरयू नदी की ओर हम इस समय जा रहे हैं। ये जो पूरी यात्रा है, जो रोड शो की यात्रा है, जो शुरुआत एयरपोर्ट से लेकर हुई है, उसकी यहाँ से थोड़ी सी तेज रफ्तार के साथ आगे बढ़ने की प्रक्रिया होगी, ताकि जहां पर लोग खड़े हैं वहां तक ये रोड शो फिलहाल पहुंचे। अब ठीक आप आगे की तरफ देखें, आप ठीक आगे की तरफ जब आप देखेंगे तो वहां पर आपको अब अयोध्या नगरी की पुरानी छटा भी दिखाई देगी, जहां पर वो पुराना निर्माण भी है, जिसका जीर्णोद्धार करने की अलग अलग जगहों पर कोशिश हो रही है। ऊपर अगर योगेंद्र आप दिखाएं तो रामघाट हॉल्ट है। रामघाट हॉल्ट यानी कि जो अयोध्या धाम जंक्शन, चूंकि स्टेशन का नाम परिवर्तित हो चुका है, अयोध्या धाम जंक्शन, अब उसी का एक हॉल्ट आपको आगे ये रामघाट हॉल्ट दिखेगा, जो यहाँ पर हमारी दाहिनी तरफ है। तो रेलवे का जो पूरा नेटवर्क, ऐसा नहीं, ट्रेन यहाँ पर पहले भी पहुंचती थी। अब यहाँ पर देखिए राम दरबार को सजाया गया है, राम दरबार को चित्रित करते हुए यहाँ लोग हैं। आगे महिलाएं नृत्य कर रही हैं, झूम रही हैं। हर एक जगह कोई ना कोई ऐसी तस्वीर। देखिए प्रधानमंत्री पास आ रहे हैं, जल्दी जल्दी मोबाइल फोन खुल रहे हैं सबके कि एक प्रधानमंत्री के साथ तस्वीर खींच ली जाए। यहाँ पर देखिए नृत्य कर रही हैं सब, अलग अलग आयु वर्ग की महिलाएं हैं। यहाँ छोटी छोटी बच्चियां वो भी नृत्य कर रही हैं, अलग अलग पहनावे में, अपने अलग वेशभूषा में। देखिए गजब का उत्साह, सुबह से ऐसे उत्साह के साथ वो यहाँ पर है। एक नन्हे बाल कृष्ण भी आ गए हैं, देखिए यहाँ एक छोटे से कृष्ण जी भी आ गए हैं। यहाँ पर राम जी की नगरी में कृष्ण जी भी आ गए हैं। और आप देखिए यहाँ से अब एक तरह से आप समझ लीजिए कि प्रॉपर ये जिस रोड शो की, जिस रफ्तार की हम बात कर रहे हैं, अब प्रधानमंत्री वापस निकलेंगे, क्योंकि लोग वहां पर जो उनकी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हैं, जो उन्हें देखने के लिए यहाँ पर आए हैं। तो अब प्रधानमंत्री देखिए वापस बाहर निकले और ये गजब का उत्साह लोगों का यहाँ पर फूटा उनके मन से। फूलों की वर्षा एक बार फिर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के ऊपर ये तमाम लोग करते हुए। और अब आपको पूरा जो पड़ाव है वो दिखेगा, चूंकि वो एयरपोर्ट से आता हुआ वो एक्सप्रेसवे का इसका हिस्सा था। अब दूसरी ओर भी दिखाइए योगेंद्र, किस तरीके से वहां पर सर पर अग्नि रखकर कलश में नृत्य कर रही हैं ये महिलाएं। कठिन अभ्यास कई दिन से इन सब ने किया है, जब से प्रधानमंत्री उनकी आरती एक तरह से कर रही हैं, उनकी नजर उतार रही हैं और उन्हें प्रणाम कर रही है। प्रधानमंत्री अपने दोनों हाथों को उठाकर इस समय दोनों सड़क के किनारे जो लोग हैं उनका अभिवादन कर रहे हैं। और इसी तरीके से आगे वो बढ़ रहे हैं। ये पूरा इलाका अब हर जगह पर आपको, उत्तर प्रदेश एक विशाल राज्य है, अलग अलग क्षेत्र से में पूरी तरीके से जो तस्वीर है वो बदल जाती है। अब देखिए यहाँ पर मानस दास जी भी मौजूद हैं, बहुत सुंदर भजन गाते हैं, वो कथावाचक भी हैं। और देखिए कैसे उन्होंने इंतजाम कर रखा है फूलों को प्रधानमंत्री पर उसकी वर्षा करने के लिए। प्रधानमंत्री जहां पर दोनों ओर होता है, जहां पर दोनों ओर परफॉर्मेंस होता है, प्रधानमंत्री दोनों हाथों से सबका अभिवादन करते हैं। जहां पर एक तरफ है वहां एक तरफ अभिवादन कर रहे हैं, लोग दौड़ रहे हैं अपने मोबाइल्स लेकर, ताकि प्रधानमंत्री के साथ साथ शायद वो कोई तस्वीर बना लें। आप उस भीड़ में अगर देखेंगे, भीड़ में लोग जो हैं वो दौड़ रहे हैं, दौड़ लगा रहे हैं कि पीएम के काफिले के साथ साथ आगे आगे वो पहुंच जाएं। देखिए उस तरफ से जो छोटे बच्चे हैं, लड़कियां हैं, सब दौड़ लगा रही हैं कि पीएम के काफिले की स्पीड कम है, उसके बराबरी से वो यहाँ तक वो मुमकिन कर लें। अब प्रधानमंत्री के चेहरे की खुशी भी देखिए इस समय, प्रधानमंत्री के चेहरे की खुशी भी देखिए आप, किस तरीके से वो एक संतुष्टि का भाव भी है, एक खुशी का भाव भी है। और केवल उत्तर प्रदेश नहीं बल्कि और भी प्रदेशों से लोग यहाँ पर आए हैं। हालांकि यहाँ पर आप जितनी भी कलाएं देख रहे हैं वो अलग अलग, आपको एक उत्तराखंड का भी नमूना आगे दिख जाएगा। और अब आगे की ओर वीणा चौक बहुत नजदीक रह गया है। ये रामकथा संग्रहालय का हिस्सा है। यहाँ पर जो नन्हे अर्चक हैं वो मंत्रोच्चार के साथ प्रधानमंत्री का स्वागत कर रहे हैं। कुछ दूर ही आगे आपको साधु संत उस मंच पर दिख जाएंगे जो आशीर्वाद देने के लिए प्रधानमंत्री को इस समय आतुर लालायत खड़े हुए नजर आ जाएंगे। दोनों हाथ जोड़कर प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी को धन्यवाद भी वो कह रहे हैं। उनकी ओर फूल वो इस समय अर्पण कर रहे हैं। देखिए, गीत, संगीत, नृत्य पूरी तरीके से। और लोगों की खुशी अभी से नहीं बल्कि जब से योगी आदित्यनाथ समीक्षा यहां पर कर रहे हैं तब से नजर आ रही है। अब प्रधानमंत्री उनके समक्ष हैं, प्रधानमंत्री उनके सामने हैं, तो लोगों के उत्साह तो क्या कहने, निर्बाध उनकी खुशी, उनका उल्लास इस समय छलक रहा है, निकल रहा है। और प्रधानमंत्री समझते हैं इस बात को, क्योंकि संकल्प उन्होंने भी ये लिया था कि जन्मभूमि पर एक मंदिर का निर्माण किया जाएगा। और आज वो संकल्प पूरा होने के बहुत करीब है, जब 22 जनवरी को यहां पर प्राण प्रतिष्ठा की जाएगी। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ही श्री राम लला के आंख पर जो पट्टी बंधी रहेगी यानी मूर्ति पर, उसे खोलेंगे। पहली बार प्रभु श्री राम प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी को ही देखेंगे। ये मन भावन अयोध्या के गीत के साथ उनका स्वागत ये लोग कर रहे हैं। पूरी नगरी जो लंबे समय तक खुद को उपेक्षित महसूस करती रही, वो पूरी नगरी आज अपनी आंखों के सामने अपनी ही तस्वीर, अपना ही कायाकल्प होते हुए देख रही है। अब इसके आगे भगवान बुद्ध की भूमि सारनाथ का भी आप एक पोस्टर देखेंगे। और उसके साथ ही जो लोग यहाँ पर नृत्य पेश कर रहे हैं उनमें आपको देखिए, ये सभी लोग हैं, ये वैसे आज तक को भी देखकर खुश हुए हैं थोड़े से लेकिन ये भी देखिए आप, ये सूर्य स्तंभ से कहा जाता है। सब पर जय श्री राम और हनुमान जी की गदा लगी हुई है। ये सूर्य स्तंभ है जिसे यहाँ पर प्रतिष्ठित किया गया है। यहाँ पर जो पूरे सड़कों पर लाइट्स लगाई गई हैं वो सब त्रिशूल, त्रिपुंड, सारी चीजों को प्रदर्शित करती हुई लगी हैं। यहाँ पर देखिए सर पर कलश में दीप लगाकर ये नृत्य कर रही हैं। और अब हम उस जगह पर पहुंचे हैं, योगी दिखाइए उस तरफ, वीणा चौक है। लता मंगेशकर के सम्मान में इसका निर्माण हुआ है। अगर आप सीधे जाएं तो राम की पैड़ी का हिस्सा होता है, और अगर आप बाएं मुड़ जाएं तो आप अयोध्या की मुख्य नगरी की सड़क पर पहुंचते हैं। अयोध्या की मुख्य नगरी की जो सड़क है, यानी ये अब पुरानी सड़क पर हम आए हैं, लेकिन ये पुरानी सड़क पुरानी नहीं रह गई है, इसको पूरी तरीके से अब विस्तार किया गया है। यहाँ देखिए भारत के भी रंग है, यहाँ तिरंगों में सुसज्जित। और यहाँ पर एक मराठी नृत्य का आयोजन हो रहा है। पूरे में आप देखते चलिए। अब प्रधानमंत्री एक एक जो प्रदर्शन है उसे बहुत ध्यान से, बहुत ही पास से देख रहे हैं। देखिए ये पूरा कैसे जय श्री राम के नारे हर जगह लग जा रहे हैं। जैसे ही काफिला यहाँ से गुजर रहा है, इस तरफ भी सरयू जी की एक धारा निकलती है और फूलों से देखिए क्या खूबसूरत, क्या सुंदर सजावट की गई है यहाँ। अब अगर मैं दूसरी तरफ की आपको तस्वीर दिखाऊं, क्योंकि तो देखिए उस तरफ वो पूरा क्षेत्र है जहां से आगे हम बढ़ेंगे तो हनुमानगढ़ी का इलाका आ जाएगा। यहाँ पर सारी दुकानों को एक हिसाब से कर दिया गया है, एक हिसाब से सबकी साज सज्जा, सबका रंग रोगन किया गया है। प्रधानमंत्री इस पूरे इलाके को देखते हुए, अब यहाँ पर मुझे नेपाल के भी लोग दिख रहे हैं, देख जनकपुर धाम से, ससुराल से आए हैं सब, जनकपुर धाम से, जो चाह रहे हैं कि शायद प्रधानमंत्री को एक रुद्राक्ष भेंट कर दें। अब ये पूरा देखिए, ये अयोध्या नगरी ऐसे उमड़ी हुई है, जिस शहर ने अपने पूरे जीवन काल में केवल और केवल कर्फ्यू देखे, राजनीतिक उपेक्षा देखी, वो नगरी आज ऐसे सड़कों पर उमड़ी है। आंखों में किसी के आंसू दिखते हैं, किसी के चेहरे पर मुस्कान दिखती है, और इस सब के बीच अगर ये नगरी आज ऐसे खड़ी है तो सदियों सदियों की उपेक्षा, सदियों सदियों के संघर्ष को देखते हुए राम दरबार का चित्रण यहाँ पर भी आप प्रभु श्री राम, लक्ष्मण और सीता मैया के साथ देख रहे हैं। ये एक ऐसा पोस्टर जो बता रहा है कहां से कहां होकर चले हैं, वो पूरी तस्वीर चित्रकूट तक की दिखाते हुए लोग अपने घरों की खिड़कियों से बाहर निकलकर प्रधानमंत्री का अभिवादन यहाँ पर कर रहे हैं। आप एक चेहरा ऐसा नहीं देखेंगे जहां पर खुशी न हो, जहां संतोष न हो, और प्रधानमंत्री को देखने के लिए उत्सुकता न हो, जिस चेहरे में प्रधानमंत्री की ओर पुष्प वर्षा लगातार यहाँ के लोग कर रहे हैं। दूसरी तरफ मैं महिलाओं के चेहरे देख सकती हूँ जिनकी आंखों में आंसू दिख रहे हैं इस समय। किसी ने सोचा नहीं था, बहुत लोग संशय में रहते थे कि क्या उनके जीवन काल में वो दिन आ सकता है जब वो अपनी आंखों के सामने रामलला को उनकी जन्मभूमि पर विराजमान देखेंगे। लेकिन आज इन सब के चेहरों का भाव बताता है कि जो नहीं सोचा था वो हुआ, और इसीलिए ये उल्लास, ये खुशी, ये संतुष्टि, सब मोदी जी का स्वागत है का नारा, जय श्री राम का नारा, महिलाएं, बच्चे, पुरुष, बुजुर्ग, सब के सब आपको एक भाव में। अब देखिए ये सड़क का वो हिस्सा है जहां पर चौड़ीकरण का काम किया गया है, घरों को पीछे की तरफ किया गया है, कॉम्पेंसेशन, उन्हें मुआवजा दिया गया है इसके लिए, और हर एक व्यक्ति खुशी खुशी इसमें शामिल हुआ है, क्योंकि सबके अनुसार ये राम जी का काम रहा। शंख ध्वनि के साथ प्रधानमंत्री का स्वागत करती हुई अयोध्या नगरी की ये पूरी जो जनता है, और प्रधानमंत्री लगातार अपनी गाड़ी से बाहर निकले हुए, बहुत ठंड आज का दिन यहाँ पर है, ओस और साथ में बारिश की बूंदें भी गिर रही हैं, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री गाड़ी से यूं बाहर निकलकर लोगों का अभिवादन स्वीकार कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि उन्हें मालूम है कि लोग भी इस ठंड में, लोग भी इन परिस्थितियों का सामना करते हुए उनके लिए यहाँ पर खड़े हुए हैं। अब देखिए तुलसी उद्यान पर हम पहुंचे, तुलसी उद्यान जहां बाबा तुलसी की यह प्रतिमा लगाई गई है, गोस्वामी तुलसीदास की यह प्रतिमा, रामचरित मानस के रचयिता तुलसीदास, जिनके इस उद्यान को भी अब बहुत मेंटेन किया जा रहा है, इसका सौंदर्यीकरण किया जा रहा है। 2 दिन से हम देख रहे हैं यहाँ पर साफ सफाई, स्वच्छता और चमकाया जा रहा है इस पूरे उद्यान को, क्योंकि 500 वर्ष पूर्व बाबा तुलसी ने ही वो ग्रंथ रचा जो आज घर घर में मानस के रूप में पढ़ा जाता है। आज सबके मानस में वो रचा बसा हुआ है। ऐसा समझिए कि एक प्रतिबंधित क्षेत्र है। लंबे समय तक यहाँ पर कैमरे तक निकालने की मनाही हो जाती थी, लेकिन आज परिस्थितियां किस तरीके से सामान्य है, खुशहाल है, वो आपको इस तरीके से समझ में आएगा कि न केवल सड़कें चौड़ी हो रही हैं, बल्कि उन सड़कों की, यहाँ की दुकानें अगर हम आपको दिखाएं, देखिए एक हिसाब से राम मंदिर की तस्वीर आपको उसमें दिखेगी। ये स्वागत के लिए देखिए हर जगह पुष्प वर्षा अपने प्रधानमंत्री पर, उस व्यक्ति पर जिसने अयोध्या नगरी को वो दिन दिखाया है जिसके लिए पथराई हुई निगाहों के साथ अयोध्या नगरी प्रतीक्षा कर रही थी। हाँ, अभी 22 जनवरी की तारीख का इंतजार करना जरूर होगा, जब प्रधानमंत्री प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के लिए पहुंचेंगे, आंखों से पट्टी खोलेंगे रामलला की, पहली दृष्टि उन पर पड़ेगी, काजल लगाएंगे, आईना दिखाएंगे अपने रामलला को, और उसके बाद से आम लोगों के लिए भी वो जो मंदिर है वहां पर दर्शन शुरू हो जाएगा। लेकिन आज का ये दिन भी कम अहम नहीं है, कम महत्व नहीं रखता है अयोध्या वासियों के लिए, और सबकी जो तैयारियां हैं, सबकी जो खुशी है, वो उसी बात पर मुहर लगा रही है। बीच में आपको कुछ मजदूर भी दिख जाएंगे जो कि यहाँ पर किसी न किसी काम में, किसी न किसी पुनर्निर्माण में लगे हुए हैं, और आपको तमाम लोग दिख जाएंगे जो आज के दिन को अपने प्रधानमंत्री के लिए समर्पित करके बैठे हैं। अयोध्या के लिए हमेशा ये कहा गया कि इसकी किस्मत में ही प्रतीक्षा रही। पहले प्रभु श्री राम जिनका राज तिलक होना था, वो जब 14 वर्ष के वनवास के लिए निकल गए, और उसके बाद तो 500 वर्षों का लगभग वनवास रहा, जिसके बाद अब प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी प्राण प्रतिष्ठा करेंगे 22 जनवरी को। राजनीति भी खूब इस पर हो रही है, लेकिन राजनीति से परे आज अयोध्या नगरी अपने वर्तमान को देख रही है, अपनी उस संस्कृति को देख रही है, अपनी इन तस्वीरों को देखकर खुश हो रही है। कोई भी व्यक्ति हो, किसी भी वर्ग का हो, वो सब आज अपने चेहरों पर ये मधुर मुस्कान लिए हुए, ये मधुर मुस्कान तैरती हुई उनके चेहरों पर, और वो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का यहाँ पर स्वागत कर रहे हैं। देखिए, वो कुछ घर जहाँ पर आपको इस समय टाट भी लगे हुए दिखेंगे, जिनके घर का निर्माण पीछे की ओर इस समय हो रहा है, वहीं से झांककर एक झरोखे से प्रधानमंत्री को एक नजर देख लेना चाहते हैं। स्वागत अभिनंदन के लिए अलग अलग लोगों ने ये अपनी जो पोस्टर्स है वो लगाए हुए हैं, और अब धर्म ध्वज आपको हर तरफ पूरे में पटा हुआ दिखेगा अब इस पूरी सड़क पर, क्योंकि ये हनुमान जी का भी, यहाँ से हनुमान गढ़ी की शुरुआत भी यहाँ से हो जाती है। तो हनुमान गढ़ी थोड़ी ही दूरी पर, जैसे ही हम थोड़ा सा हमारी गाड़ी मुड़ेगी, वहां पर हनुमान गढ़ी आप सामने देख लेंगे। तो यहाँ पर हर जगह आपको प्रभु श्री राम के परम भक्त हनुमान जी की पताकाएं लहराती हुई। देखिए, अपने घर से आरती लेकर आ गई हैं, आरती अपने घर से लेकर आ गई हैं, और आरती दूर से उतार रही है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की आरती दूर से उतार रही है वो, कि उनके प्रधानमंत्री नहीं है उनके लिए, ये उनके रामलला को वापस लेकर आने वाले हैं उनके लिए। ये वो व्यक्ति है उनके लिए जिन्होंने 500 वर्षों के वनवास को पूरा किया है, और इसीलिए अगर इन महिलाओं की चेहरों पर आपको वो एक तरह से धन्यवाद का एक भाव आपको दिख रहा है, कि वो धन्यवाद करना चाहती हैं कि आपने हमारे रामलला को आप वापस लेकर आए। हर तरह देखिए, घर से छोटा सा शंख अपनी पूजा का, एक घंटी लेकर आ गए हैं। जिसके हाथ में जो बन पड़ रहा है वो अपने घरों से लेकर आ रहा है, किसी का स्वागत करने के लिए, किसी को पसंद करने के लिए। आपको जरूरी नहीं है कि उस पर धन लौटाना है, आपको बस अपना प्यार लौटाना है, और अयोध्या नगरी आज अपना पूरा प्यार लुटा रही है प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी पर। उनकी गाड़ी की छत अब फूलों से ढका हुआ आपको नजर आएगा, गुलाब की पंखुड़ियों से ढका हुआ नजर आएगा। विंडस्क्रीन से उसे हटाना जरूर पड़ रहा है, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री के ऊपर भी फूलों की वो पंखुड़ियां धन्यवाद स्वरूप जो यहाँ के लोग उन पर डाल रहे हैं। हर एक जगह पर ये इंतजाम आप देख लेंगे जो प्रधानमंत्री के लिए यहाँ की जनता ने कर रखा है। दूसरा छोर मैं ये कहूंगी कि थोड़ा सा खुद को उपेक्षित जरूर इस समय पा रहा होगा, कि थोड़ा दूरी से उन्हें देखना पड़ रहा है, लेकिन इस छोर के जितने भी लोग हैं बेहद नजदीक प्रधानमंत्री को इस समय अपने पा रहे हैं, बेहद नजदीक इस समय वो देख रहे हैं। ये पूरा प्रधानमंत्री का काफिला आखिर तक, आप आखिरी गाड़ी तक आप देख सकते हैं। शुरुआत से उनका ये कहना है कि इसे उस हिसाब से राजनीतिक रूप जो 22 जनवरी का कार्यक्रम होना है उसे न दिया जाए, ऐसा रूप अलग अलग पार्टियों को भी दिया गया निमंत्रण, लेकिन राजनीति उस पर खूब चल रही है। आम लोगों से पूछिए तो वो कहते हैं राम सबके हैं, सबको आना चाहिए, लेकिन जिसकी जिसको ये बात समझ में ना आती हो उन लोगों का क्या किया जाए। अब यहाँ आप कुछ बीजेपी कार्यकर्ताओं को भी सड़कों पर देख रहे हैं, जो हालांकि छोटे बच्चे तो नहीं, जिन्होंने यहाँ पर वो जो बीजेपी की टोपियां हैं वो लगा रखी हैं, लेकिन कुछ यहाँ पर आपको राजनीतिक कार्यकर्ता भी दिख रहे हैं। आगे फिर आपको यहाँ का संत समाज, यहाँ के वो नन्हे अर्चक, वो सब दिखेंगे। सुरक्षा भी पूरी है। ऊपर आप यूपी पुलिस के जवानों को भी तैनात देख लेंगे, जो हर घर के ऊपर धर्म ध्वजाओं के साथ अपनी ड्यूटी में तैनात लगे हैं, जो लोग अपने घरों के छतों पर निकले हैं। अब पूरा जन सैलाब, आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि आज पूरी अयोध्या नगरी में लगता है कोई अपने घर में है ही नहीं। सारे लोग निकल आए हैं, सारे लोग निकल आए हैं यहाँ पर प्रधानमंत्री को देखने के लिए। देखिए लोग, और यहाँ पर यूपी पुलिस के साथ रैपिड एक्शन फोर्स के जवान भी लगे हैं, जो कि रोड शो की दूसरी दिशा में देख रहे हैं, क्योंकि इस तरह की जब इलाके से प्रधानमंत्री का काफिला निकलता है तो सुरक्षा को लेकर बहुत चुनौतियां भी रहती हैं। इसीलिए पुलिस भारी संख्या में यहाँ पर मौजूद है। और जैसा कि हमने आपको बताया, ये जो पूरा क्षेत्र है जिस रोड पर हम चल रहे हैं, ये अपने आप में बेहद संवेदनशील है। ये कोतवाली का इलाका शुरू हो जाता है, जहाँ पर पुलिस वाले आपको इसीलिए बड़ी संख्या में यहाँ पर दिख भी रहे हैं। लेकिन पीछे पीछे देखिए, अभी भीतर के जितने भी आप हिस्से देख रहे हैं ना, जहाँ पर आपको थोड़ी सी भी टूट फूट दिख रही है, हर जगह जीर्णोद्धार का काम चल रहा है। हम उन गलियों में घूमते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कि कैसे उन सारी जगहों का जीर्णोद्धार चल रहा है। और इसके साथ ही अब हम पीछे आप एक गुरुद्वारा देख सकते हैं। यहाँ पर अयोध्या में आपको सामाजिक समरसता के भी सारे रूप दिख जाएंगे, लेकिन उसके साथ ही जन्मभूमि है, और जन्मभूमि पर प्रभु श्री राम के मंदिर का निर्माण है। तो वो जो अच्छा, ये राजा का महल है। देखिए, राजा अयोध्या का महल है ये, जो आप बाईं तरफ इस समय आप देख रहे हैं। हमारे राजा अयोध्या ट्रस्ट का भी हिस्सा है, जो पूरी तरह से काम काज में लगे हुए हैं। पूरा जो एक एक काम होता है राम मंदिर के भीतर, उसमें पूरी रुचि के साथ वो लगे रहते हैं। उनका परिवार भी इसमें लगा रहता है और बहुत ही लोकप्रिय है यहाँ की आम जनता के बीच भी। प्रधानमंत्री इस पूरे रास्ते से आगे निकलते हुए अब हनुमानगढ़ी के उस मोड़ पर हम पहुंच गए हैं, जहां से हनुमान जी का जो दुर्ग है, जब राम जी यहां से गए थे तब उन्होंने हनुमान जी को यहां की सुरक्षा सौंप दी थी। अब पीछे का हिस्सा देखिए, हनुमानगढ़ी का हिस्सा है, और यहां पर आपको वानर सेना भी खूब दिख जाती है। हालांकि आज थोड़ा लोग बाहर निकले हुए, तो मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा दूर दूर से वो देख रहे हैं, लेकिन हनुमानगढ़ी का वो शिखर आपको दिख गया है। शिखर दर्शन आप करते चलिए। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी भी दूर से ही हाथ जोड़ेंगे। हनुमान मंदिर, जो कि जिससे ऊंचा पूरे अयोध्या नगरी में कोई दूसरा मंदिर बन ही नहीं सकता था, अनुमति ही नहीं थी इसकी। आज प्रभु श्री राम का मंदिर उस हनुमानगढ़ी से कहीं ऊंचा होगा, और जो उनके परम भक्त हनुमान जी हैं और उनके भक्त जो हैं, वो सब इस बात से ज्यादा प्रसन्न नहीं हो सकते हैं कि आज जन्मस्थली पर उनके प्रभु, उनके परम ईश्वर का कि मंदिर का निर्माण उनसे कहीं ज्यादा ऊंचा किया जा रहा है। देखिए, महिलाएं भी अपने घरों के अंदर से प्रधानमंत्री की ओर, और ये सबकी ओर देख कर, वो सबकी ओर देख कर अपना हाथ हिला रहे हैं, ताकि हर एक व्यक्ति को लगे कि आज तो प्रधानमंत्री ने हमें देख लिया। ऐसी खुशी सब में दिख रही है। देखिए, दीवानगी एकदम दिख रही है यहाँ पर बच्चों में, जो प्रधानमंत्री को देखने के लिए यहाँ पर वेट कर रहे हैं, और कब से वेट कर रहे हैं, सुबह से सब यहाँ। ये देखिए, थोड़ी तो पुष्प वर्षा हम ही पर हो गई, उन पर अब हनुमानगढ़ी के बिल्कुल बगल से निकल रहे हैं। यहाँ पर भी बहुत जो अतिक्रमण रहा, जो सड़कों तक निर्माण रहा, उसको पीछे की ओर किया जा रहा है। ऊपर जो संत बैठे हैं, कुछ बुजुर्ग भी हैं जो शायद नीचे नहीं आ सकते, वो सब भी अपनी जगहों पर बैठ के वहीं से आशीर्वाद दे रहे हैं। और पीछे हनुमानगढ़ी, जहां पर ऊपर आप सब पुजारियों को भी हनुमानगढ़ी के छत पर देख लेंगे। बहुत इसकी सुरक्षा पर सवाल रहे, कई बार आक्रमण करने का प्रयास भी हुआ, लेकिन ये विश्वास बताते हैं वो सब कि हनुमान जी बचाए, उनको ले गए, ऐसा उनका विश्वास है। ये कहते हैं हनुमानगढ़ी के बगल से यहाँ प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का काफिला गुजरता हुआ, प्रधानमंत्री यहाँ पर कई बार दर्शन के लिए जा भी चुके हैं हनुमानगढ़ी में। हनुमान जी के सामने जो यहाँ पर राजा रूप में विराजमान है हनुमान जी, उनके सामने अपना मस्तक झुकाया है, उन्हें प्रणाम करके आशीर्वाद लिया है। आज जनता का दिन है, पर आज जनता की बात है और प्रधानमंत्री आज सभी अयोध्या वासियों को उनको दर्शन कराने और उनके दर्शन करने आज यहाँ पर आए हैं। पूरा ये देखिए, ये शोर सुनिए, ये जय श्री राम के नारों का उल्लास सुनिए, ये फूलों को हाथों में समेटे लोगों की उत्सुकता देखिए। ये पूरा जो क्षेत्र, इसके भीतर भी जो है वो सारे रिहायशी इलाके हैं, जो गलियां अंदर अंदर की तरफ चलती हैं, वो सारे वो जगह हैं जहां पर लोगों के घर हैं। लेकिन अयोध्या एक ऐसा शहर जो अभी निर्माणाधीन है, ऐसे समझ लीजिए। केवल मंदिर का निर्माण नहीं चल रहा है, बल्कि पूरे शहर का निर्माण चल रहा है। देखिए, प्रधानमंत्री एक पल के लिए भी भीतर अपनी गाड़ी में नहीं गए हैं, वो लगातार बाहर यूं खड़े होकर पास आते हैं तो अचानक किसी के खुशी से चीखने की आवाज भी सुनाई पड़ती है, बच्चों के चेहरों की मुस्कान भी दिखती है। और चूंकि आज जो चलन हो चला है कि हाथों में मोबाइल फोन लेके सब तस्वीरें निकालना चाहते हैं, अपनी भी, प्रधानमंत्री की भी, और अगर हो जाए तो दोनों की एक साथ। सुरक्षाकर्मी साथ साथ उनके चल रहे हैं। बहुत चुनौतीपूर्ण कार्य वो भी रहता है। कुछ युवाओं का एक समूह आपको छत पर भी नजर आ जाएगा। देखिए, जैसे ही पीएम पास से गुजर रहे हैं ये तस्वीरें, और दूसरे छोर की भी हम अगर आपको, ये पूरा जो फूलों से सजावट हुआ है, ये केवल एक दिन में रातों रात यहाँ पर ये सुंदर फूलों की सजावट आप देखिए, फूल ही फूल हर तरफ आपको पूरी अयोध्या नगरी में दिखेंगे। अब ये आ गए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण जगह पर। ये जगह है राम द्वार। यहाँ से जो भक्त हैं वो चलकर भीतर जाएंगे। अभी देखिए, यहाँ पर सुरक्षा बहुत जबरदस्त करके रखी गई है। यहाँ डमरू, प्रधानमंत्री के आते ही बेहद तेज डमरू वादन शुरू कर दिया सबने। ये वो जगह है जहाँ से पैदल चलकर जो भक्त हैं वो प्रवेश कर पाएंगे। फूलों से अभी सजावट है और जो कारीगरी इस पर जो आप देख रहे हैं वो राम मंदिर पर जैसी कारीगरी हो रही है वही है। ये पिंक सैंडस्टोन का ही इस्तेमाल इसमें भी किया गया है। आगे जो पूरा रास्ता जहां पर छांव बनाई गई है वहां पर भी उसी प्रकार की कारीगरी की गई है, जो यहीं से एहसास दे देगी कि आप राम मंदिर की ओर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। और अब राम मंदिर का हिस्सा दूर नहीं रह गया। हालांकि प्रधानमंत्री आज वहां जाएंगे नहीं, उससे वो बाएं की ओर मुड़ जाएंगे, जहां पर आपको वो ब्रिज दिखेगा जिससे आप एयरपोर्ट से पूरी तरीके से आपकी कनेक्टिविटी हो जाती है। लेकिन यहाँ पर राम मंदिर का जो क्षेत्र है ये कुछ ही देर में शुरू हो जाएगा, जिसे आरजेबी भी कहते हैं, राम जन्मभूमि भी कहते हैं। वो पूरा क्षेत्र यहाँ से प्रारंभ होने वाला है। और जैसा हम आपको बता रहे हैं, प्रतिबंधित क्षेत्र रहा है कैमरों के लिए, आम लोगों के लिए जाने के लिए। लेकिन अब हर कोई वहां तक जाने के लिए वाला है। जैसे ही पहला मौका मिला वो भीतर जाएंगे। अभी भी दर्शन के लिए वो जा सकते हैं। अस्थायी मंदिर में रामलला की प्रतिमा स्थापित है, लेकिन जो मुख्य मंदिर बनेगा जहां पर 22 तारीख को प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होगी, वहां के जो हिस्से को अभी लोग केवल दूर से देख सकते हैं, जहां क्रेन्स नजर आती हैं। अभी भी हमारी बाईं ओर से आपको वो क्रेन्स दिख जाएंगी। ये राजकीय श्री राम चिकित्सालय है अयोध्या नगरी का। उसके पीछे अभी आंखों से मुझे दिखा, मुझे लग रहा है कैमरे से शायद अभी ना दिखे, लेकिन आगे के हिस्से में आपको दिखाते हैं। अब आपको पीछे देखिए दिखने लगा है, वो क्रेन्स दिखने लगे हैं और ये जन्मभूमि ही है जहां पर ये आपको कंस्ट्रक्शन के क्रेन्स दिख रहे हैं। और अब हम उस काफिले के साथ बिल्कुल उस जगह के करीब पहुंच रहे हैं जहां पर जाना अभी तक इतनी सुलभता से हो ही नहीं सकता था। लेकिन अब तस्वीर यहां बदल चुकी है, वहां परिस्थितियां बिल्कुल पूरी तरीके से बदल चुकी हैं और अब वो पूरी बैरिकेडिंग शुरू हो जाएगी जो लाल पीले रंग की फेंसिंग के साथ आप समझ सकते हैं, जो जन्मभूमि को अभी तक एक विवादित क्षेत्र घोषित करती थी, लेकिन अब नहीं। अब विवादित क्षेत्र नहीं बल्कि एक ऐसा क्षेत्र जो धन्य है। आप देखिए जो राम जन्मभूमि का क्षेत्र है वो अब आप देख रहे हैं और प्रधानमंत्री का काफिला यहीं से होकर गुजर रहा है। अलग अलग इसके द्वार होने हैं, अलग अलग गेट्स होने हैं। अब यहाँ देखिए भीतर भी जो मजदूर हैं वो भी यहाँ से एक झलक प्रधानमंत्री की पाने के लिए यहाँ पर बिल्कुल करीब आ गए हैं। थोड़ी देर का ब्रेक मिलता है, उसी में मजदूर आ गए हैं कि देख लें एक बार प्रधानमंत्री को भी। काफिले में आ रहे हैं पीएम। और ये रोड शो का जो पूरा क्षेत्र है अब अपनी समाप्ति की ओर भी बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन यहाँ पर भी अब देखिए हर तरफ आपको राम भजन, राम धुन यही सुनाई देगा। यहाँ पर भी मंच पे लोग गुलाब का फूल लेकर, उसकी पंखुड़ियां लेकर, गेंदे के फूल की पंखुड़ियां लेकर प्रधानमंत्री का इंतजार कर रहे हैं। ये मतलब एक समय में अगर ये कहा जाता कि यहाँ पर आप कैमरा लेकर घूम रहे हैं तो आपको यकीन नहीं हो सकता था, क्योंकि ये वो दौर था जब अदालती आदेश के अनुसार आप यहाँ पर न तो तस्वीर ले सकते थे, न कुछ समय गुजार सकते थे। घर है लोगों के, लोग यहाँ पर घरों में रहते हैं, लेकिन वो भी उन प्रतिबंधों की वजह से उदासीन थे। उन प्रतिबंधों की वजह से उद्योग यहाँ नहीं आ पाता था, नौकरियां नहीं आ पाती थी। अब पर्यटक आते हैं तो इनका भी जो मन है वो बिल्कुल प्रसन्न है। अब बस कुछ ही कदमों में हम मुख्य द्वार पर राम जन्मभूमि के होने वाले हैं। यानी एक द्वार तो जो आपने देखा कि जहां से प्रवेश हो सकता है, जो राम द्वार है जहां से लोग पैदल जा सकते हैं, अब ये जो द्वार हम आपको दिखाने वाले हैं ये वीआईपी द्वार है इसका, राम जन्मभूमि का। यहाँ से गाड़ियों के साथ प्रवेश होता है। प्रधानमंत्री भी जब आए थे तो यहाँ से गए थे और अब भी जब वो आएंगे 22 जनवरी की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के लिए तो इसी द्वार से वो प्रवेश करेंगे, लेकिन आज वो यहाँ पर प्रवेश नहीं करने वाले हैं। पीएम लोगों की ओर ज्यादा उत्सुकता से देख रहे हैं। उन्हें मालूम है कि उन्हें जो चाहिए, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी देखिए अभिवादन तो दोनों ओर कर रहे हैं। कुछ आपको स्थानीय आपको मुस्लिम समुदाय के लोग भी दिख रहे हैं जो खड़े हैं प्रधानमंत्री को देखने के लिए और उनकी तरफ उन्होंने गुलाब की पंखुड़ियां भी इस समय उछाली हैं। लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री हर ओर लोगों का अभिवादन कर रहे हैं। लोगों से जुड़ाव उनका जो इस समय हो पा रहा है, गुलाब की पंखुड़ियों को अब लोग सड़कों पर ही अपनी व्याकुलता में आगे बरसाने लगे हैं कि पीएम आ रहे हैं। उससे पहले उनके लिए वो गुलाब की पंखुड़ियां उनके लिए बिछा सकें ताकि वो आगे बढ़ें, तो उन फूल की पंखुड़ियों पर होते हुए आगे बढ़ें। काफी देर से प्रधानमंत्री अपनी गाड़ी से बाहर ही निकले। अब आगे तो लोगों का और हुजूम दिख रहा है और बड़ी संख्या, क्योंकि ये रिहायशी इलाका पूरा हो जाता है, तो जो रिहायशी इलाका होने के कारण लोग यहाँ पर बड़ी संख्या में निकल कर आए हैं। और देखिए सब खड़े हैं यहाँ पर इंतजार में, अपने घरों की छतों पर, सीढ़ियों पर, हर जगह आकर छोटे बच्चे सब देख रहे हैं इन तस्वीरों को जो अयोध्या नगरी के लिए पूरी तरीके से नई तस्वीरें हैं। ऐसा कुछ इस नगर ने कभी देखा नहीं। चुनाव के समय जरूर लोग वोट मांगने आए, लेकिन इस तरह का एक रोड शो एक प्रधानमंत्री के द्वारा पहली बार अयोध्या नगरी में किया जा रहा है। पहली बार अयोध्या नगरी में कोई प्रधानमंत्री आया है जो एक रोड शो कर रहा है, और उस रोड शो में सैकड़ों लोग सड़क के दोनों ओर खड़े होकर अपने प्रधानमंत्री का स्वागत कर रहे हैं। उस प्रधानमंत्री का स्वागत कर रहे हैं जिसने उनकी अयोध्या की तस्वीर ही बदल कर रख दी है। उस प्रधानमंत्री का स्वागत कर रहे हैं जिनके कारण रामलला उनके हिसाब से जिनके कारण रामलला अपने मंदिर में, अपनी जन्मभूमि पर विराजमान एक विशाल मंदिर में हो रहे हैं। ये पहले पूरा जो अभी भी आप अगर उसे वो 3.77 एकड़ जिसको लेकर पूरा मामला चला अदालतों में, ये पूरा जो क्षेत्र है ये वही आरजेबी का क्षेत्र, राम जन्मभूमि का क्षेत्र रहा। आज लोग आराम से यहाँ पर आते जाते हैं, रहते हैं। हालांकि अभी सुरक्षा कारणों में चाहे योगी जी हो या मोदी जी हो, जब आते हैं तो थोड़े से प्रतिबंध जरूर रहते हैं, लेकिन हम धीरे धीरे अब उस हिस्से की तरफ बढ़ रहे हैं जहां से अयोध्या नगरी में जब पर्यटक आएंगे और प्रवेश करेंगे और पहली नजर देखेंगे तो वही वो तस्वीर होगी, वो पहली तस्वीर होगी जो वो देखेंगे। अब किस तरीके से, तो यहाँ पर फ्लाईओवर्स बने हैं, उसी फ्लाईओवर की तरफ अभी हम रुख करने वाले हैं। मल्टी लेवल पार्किंग बनी हुई है, बस स्टैंड जिसे बहुत विशाल बना दिया गया है। यहाँ पर जो अतिथि गृह है जिसे बहुत ही विशाल और सुंदर स्वरूप दिया गया है, जहाँ पर कम पैसों में लोग एक कंफर्टेबल समय बिता सकते हैं। और देखिए ना, जब हम ये कह रहे थे कि अयोध्या नगरी में लगता है कि आज अपने घर में कोई नहीं है, तो हम गलत नहीं कह रहे थे। पूरी अयोध्या नगरी बाहर आपको इस समय दिख रही है। पूरी अयोध्या नगरी आपको बाहर सड़कों पर इस समय दिख रही है। अयोध्या दर्शन आप भी कर पा रहे हैं इस समय इस रोड शो के जरिए, क्योंकि जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण जगह हैं अयोध्या नगरी की, जिन्हें बदला गया, जिनकी सूरत भी बदली गई, जो नई जगह यहाँ पर जिनका निर्माण हुआ, वो सारी जगह आप इस रोड शो के जरिए देख पा रहे हैं। यहाँ पर केवल और केवल लोगों का शोर नजर सुनाई दे रहा है, जिसमें कुछ मोदी मोदी के नारे लगा रहे हैं, कुछ जय श्री राम के नारे लगा रहे हैं, और उसका मिला जुला जो ये आवाज, ये उद्घोष आप सुन पा रहे हैं, ये उसी की आवाज है जो इस समय आपके कानों में पड़ रही होगी। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के लिए ये आवाज बेहद सुकून वाली आवाज है, बेहद संतुष्टि वाली आवाज है, उनके लिए है। प्रधानमंत्री, ये जो टेढ़ी बाजार का हिस्सा हो जाता है, टेढ़ी बाजार का हिस्सा जहां से एक और प्रवेश है।
So that's India Today's Shweta Singh following the cavalcade of Prime Minister Modi. We're not going to be taking your eyes away from this camera frame, because as you can see, India Today has by far the best frame. I invite all of our viewers to see for yourselves that we've got the best live imagery of what's going on. This is the Prime Minister who is about to reach the Ayodhya station, the Ayodhya Dham station, from where he will be inaugurating the new junction. He'll be flagging off a Vande Bharat train as well. And then he will be making his way to the airport. Bringing back onto our coverage our heroes on the ground, Poulomi and Gaurav. Gaurav is at a venue where there will be a sabha addressed by the Prime Minister a little later. Poulomi is at the airport. She in fact landed at the Ayodhya Airport earlier today as well. Historic occasion. Gaurav, quickly coming to you first. The railway station is the Prime Minister's first stop, but as we can see in these amazing images, the Prime Minister is taking his time. The crowds are out there. He's in his element. Flower petals being showered. Jai Shri Ram and, Modi slogans being screamed by the crowds there. This is Prime Minister in Naya Ayodhya. The return of Modi to Ayodhya also, in a sense, because this has been something that has been very close to his heart, Gaurav.
Shiv, you're absolutely right. Ayodhya Vasis say they waited 14 years Vanvas was when Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram left Ayodhya, and then this generation says they waited 500 years for a Divya Bhavya Ram temple to be constructed. Never, not for once, giving up their claim to the point, to that place where Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram was born, where Ram Lala was born. So it is very clear in their hearts, in their minds, in their faith that this was the point where a place where Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram was born. All the struggles over centuries, Shiv, finally there is a Ram temple that's coming up, and the manner in which that Ram temple is coming up. I've spoken to Champat Rai, I've spoken to Nripendra Mishra, I've spoken to those people in Larsen and Tubro, all of those who've been involved in the construction of this Divya Bhavya Ram temple, and Shiv, like the wait for 500 years, it actually promises to be a temple that will survive another 1,000 years at least. That's the effort. It should be grand. It should reflect India's civilization. It should very, very strongly reflect what the Sanatan Dharma stands for. So every aspect of the temple, Shiv, will have the Sanatan Dharma reflected and in a way coming across. Ayodhya, the airport, the railway station shows the civilization. The Suryavanshi Parampara shown on highways here. The street lamps reflect the rising sun. You get to the temple, Shiv, everything at the temple is all about the Sanatan Parampara. The manner in which construction is happening. All gods and goddesses to be pleased before Ram Lala's idol is taken out and taken to the temple. How do you please all the gods and goddesses, Devis and Devtas? Shiv, there will be a special Anushtan for 7 days. There will be Godan that will happen. In a way, seeking forgiveness of the gods that while constructing this temple, if we have made any mistake, please forgive us and please bless us on this journey. So all along, Shiv, the Godan will happen. Varun Devta ki puja, Surya Devta ki puja, Vastu puja, all of that will happen over 7 days. Donations will be given to people, and then Ram Lala will be taken for a Nagar Brahman. The Lord, before his consecration inside the temple, will be taken for a Nagar Brahman, and then his idol will be installed, consecrated at the Ram temple. So every vidhi, every vidhan is being followed to the T-Shiv.
It's an amazing non-stop schedule of events right up to the consecration, and Gaurav has been fronting that for us. Polomi is also live with us. Gaurav, I'm coming right back to you because the Prime Minister is going to be reaching the railway station very shortly. India Today's Abhishek Mishra is going to be standing by to give us a sense of what happens inside the railway station. Polomi, the airport will be the next stop. After the railway station, the Prime Minister will be inaugurating the airport as well. Is everything ready there at the Ayodhya Airport? You know, you broke those amazing first images, Polomi, of the Ayodhya Dham Airport, which has a long name as well. You know, what's that looking like? When do operations start? What will the Prime Minister effectively be inaugurating?
Well, the Prime Minister will be inaugurating the Maharshi Valmiki International Airport, Ayodhya Dham. That's right behind me. Pavan, if you can just turn the camera around. That, as you see, is the gate which leads into the airport complex. At the moment, of course, we're on the outside because the Prime Minister has just landed over there. So the security is extremely tight, and he will be back here to inaugurate that airport, which is a swanky new state-of-the-art airport over there. In terms of, you know, the size of that airport, 6,500 square meters of the new terminal building. It is expected to handle a capacity of about 600 peak hour passengers, 10 lakh passengers annually, and this will be expanded. This is only phase 1 of the airport project. Behind me on the other side, of course, because my camera person Pavan has turned the camera around, you can see the crowds that are walking into the meeting venue. The meeting venue, the Sabha that the Prime Minister will be addressing, Shiv, is right next to the airport. So after he's done inaugurating the redeveloped Ayodhya Dham railway station. He will come to the Maharshi Valmiki International Airport, Ayodhya Dham. He will inaugurate the new airport and subsequently move straight to the public meeting venue where these crowds are headed to, chanting Jai Shri Ram. We've been seeing these crowds and throngs of them, of course, moving into that venue since early this morning. It's a very cold, chilly morning here in Ayodhya. It's freezing cold, the winds are blowing, but clearly that has not deterred these crowds who keep continuing to come in large numbers. Speaking of the airport, of course, that is going to be another gateway for many pilgrims and devotees who will be coming in to Ayodhya. Earlier it was the railway station, or if you were taking a flight, you landed in Lucknow and then of course drove all the way to Ayodhya. But today, of course, that airport will be thrown open. Commercial flight operations, of course, Shiv, will start in the month of January. Already Indigo and Air India Express have announced that they will be flying direct flights between Delhi and Ayodhya, Mumbai Ayodhya, Ahmedabad Ayodhya, Bengaluru Ayodhya, as well as Kolkata Ayodhya. But today, of course, the two airlines will be flying their inaugural flights as well. So clearly, as soon as the Prime Minister inaugurates the airport, the first flight from Delhi will land over here. The inaugural flight, of course, it's not a commercial flight operation. It will land over here. Air India Express is flying one of its swankiest new Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft that it has just received, the first of the bulk Airbus Boeing order that Air India has made. The two of those first B787 MAX have in fact landed here in India, and they will be, of course, flown into Ayodhya today. The first of those, one of those, of course, by Air India Express as well. So clearly, as far as the terminal building is concerned, we've of course seen it from only the outside, but we've seen the whole pictorial depiction of the epic tale of Ramayana inside the terminal building itself. So when you walk into the terminal building, the sense of the aviation authorities is that when you walk into that building, it should give you a feeling of which city you've entered. So it should depict a little bit of the city, its culture, its heritage, what it is famous for. Ayodhya, of course, known as the birthplace of Lord Ram. So when you walk into that airport terminal building, all around you, of course, you will see the shikharas, which are the spires, and then, of course, you will see the pictorial representation of the epic tale of Ramayana. Shiv.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, there must be an important day today, because remember that today is the 30th of December. There are about 23 days to go before the consecration of the Ram Mandir itself. But what you're seeing today, viewer, brought to you by Gaurav Polami, Abhishek Milan, who I'll be going to in just a moment. She's at the railway station, is the enormous infrastructure that's coming up in the city of Ayodhya. You know, when we say that the city is getting a makeover, all of this is going to be very important for Ayodhya. This will allow devotees from across the country and across the world to reach Ayodhya, to be part of the Ram Mandir celebrations after the inauguration. There will probably be international flights directly linking to Ayodhya as well, given the huge draw for Hindu devotees all across the world. But might I also add, and let me remind all of our viewers, that this is not a railway station and an airport is not just about Ayodhya. This kind of connectivity will have a cascading effect and benefit the region at large. That part of Uttar Pradesh will benefit from it in terms of jobs, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of connectivity, and this will lead to the spillover impact of progress. So let's make no mistake, this is by no means only about the Ram Mandir. Of course, this is coming up in part of the overall project to spruce up Ayodhya and, make it world ready in many ways along with the Ram Mandir. But this benefits more than just Ayodhya and will have many other effects as well. Milan is at the railway station, the Ayodhya Dham junction, which is going to be inaugurated very shortly by the Prime Minister. Milan, Vande Bharat train to be flagged off by the Prime Minister. Something that's been very close to his heart, the entire Vande Bharat train program. The one from Ayodhya is going to be quite special. Take us through what's going to happen. The Prime Minister will be reaching your location very shortly, Milan.
Well, yes, Shiv. In fact, the Prime Minister's cavalcade is very close to the railway station, and we're just showing you visuals from outside because of security protocols. We are standing at a distance, but that is the railway station, the top part of which replicates the beautiful Ram temple there, and it's been replicated on the railway station as well. And as you were speaking about connectivity, of course, the PM is going to launch 6 more Vande Bharats, but the very important train that you see right next to the station that's been parked here is the Amrit Bharat. And the fact remains that a lot of devotees who will come to Ayodhya will be making this journey through train as you know, is being anticipated by the government. Of course, trains and railways are a more affordable you know, solution to traveling, especially when you come with the, you know, members of your family for a tirth, or so to say, for a temple visit. And that is exactly why Amrit Bharat train will be flagged off by the PM. This one. So you're hearing chants of Lord Sri Ram from inside the train. There are students who are sitting inside the train right now. We've been told that the PM may, after flag off, will perhaps sit in the train for a while, speak to a few students as well. We were able to speak with them. Of course, they're very excited, and this train will go all the way to Gorakhpur, and we also will be on board this particular train as it flags off. And of course, as I just show you the security arrangements as well, everybody has been cleared off from this particular area, Shiv. And as we were speaking, it's not just this particular train that's connecting Ayodhya to Darbhanga, but there's another Amrit Bharat train that's connecting Malda to Bengaluru. So it's a connection all across the country, and of course a lot of trains that could you know, connect to Ayodhya as well, and all corners of the country are being connected there. So one train from Malda to Bengaluru will be going. That will also be Amrit Bharat train. This is a sleeper coach train. We'll have general coaches and a non-AC train. So obviously the cost of travel will also be lesser. So we were talking about affordable travel. Of course, there's an airport at Ayodhya right now, but largely people are expected to travel in trains. And the footfall at the station, of course, is going to be high. Of course, after the consecration ceremony that was scheduled to take place on 22nd of January, the expectation is that more than 20 to 30,000 people could land up at the station every day. And the station has been built at a capacity where more than lakhs of people could be accommodated at one point in time. There'll be food plazas, there will be waiting rooms, and all these state-of-the modern art facilities have been created. But of course, aesthetic and you know, ethos of Ayodhya has been maintained, and that is why you see that structure there once again in front of you. Replicates the top part of the mandir and looks exactly like the stonework at the mandir that has been put up right now. And of course, excited people here waiting for the Prime Minister to come and flag off these trains. And of course, operations will begin soon for the railways as well. And you know, it's been a infrastructural push for the entire holy city, connecting it via rail, airports, as well as the roads. In fact, the PM on the cavalcade, the roads have been expanded so that people, when they travel through trains, they're able to walk all the way to the temple premises, to the Lata Chowk where he was right now. And all that has been taken care of ahead of the consecration ceremony as well, Shiv.
Okay, so Milan, one of the only reporters there on that railway station platform, bringing you live reporting from the station where the Prime Minister will be reaching very shortly. We'll, of course, get you all of those live pictures. Polami at the airport, Gaurav at the Sabha venue where the Prime Minister will be making his public address after inaugurating both the railway station as well as the airport. Gaurav, coming back to you, you know, it's difficult to ignore. It's difficult to ignore the fact that all of these new constructions reflect the Ram Mandir. You know, the construction of the airport reflects it. The construction of the new railway station junction also reflects it. Okay, we've got live pictures coming in now. Gaurav, I'll just come to you in a moment. Here is the Ayodhya Dham junction being inaugurated by the Prime Minister. Let's just listen in.
वो मुख्य स्टेशन हुआ करता था। अयोध्या बहुत ही छोटा स्टेशन, केवल 3 रेलवे लाइंस हुआ करती थी। अब उसको दोगुना करके 6 लेन का किया गया है। और इस वक्त वहां पर जो प्रदर्शनी लगाई गई है रेलवे स्टेशन के अंदर, उसका अवलोकन करते हुए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी आपकी टीवी स्क्रीन पर इस वक्त भारतीय रेलवे के जो कीर्तिमान हैं उनको भी दिखाते हुए कैसे अलग अलग तकनीक के जरिए भारतीय रेलवेज अपने नए विकास पथ पर आगे बढ़ रही है और अमृतकाल में भारतीय रेलवे की क्या यात्रा होगी उसका एक अवलोकन इसी रेलवे स्टेशन पे भव्य टर्मिनल के एक हिस्से में किया जा रहा है, जिसका अवलोकन इस वक्त प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी कर रहे हैं। जैसा कि आपको पता है कि उत्तर प्रदेश में अभी तक के इतिहास में पहली बार रेलवेज का 100% इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन किया गया। इन सभी कीर्तिमानों की जानकारी प्रधानमंत्री को दी जा रही है और कैसे नए कोचेस का निर्माण किया गया है। आपको याद होगा कि काशी जब भी जाते हैं प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी DLW जो डीजल लोकोमोटिव वर्कशॉप है वहां पर रुकते हैं। वो एक बहुत ही प्राचीन संस्थान है इंजन निर्माण का, जो कि स्वयं काशी की धरती पर विद्यमान है। रायबरेली का जो कोच फैक्ट्री है उससे भी आप परिचित होंगे, जिसको फिर से रिवाइव करने का प्रयास इस सरकार के दौरान किया गया और वहां बड़े पैमाने पर इन्वेस्टमेंट किया गया। रेलवेज का इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन 100% इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन किया जा चुका है। चौड़ीकरण का काम भी उत्तर प्रदेश में जो ब्रॉड गेज बनाने का काम है, ब्रॉड गेज के कंप्लीट इलेक्ट्रिफिकेशन का कार्य किया जा चुका है और रेलवे स्टेशन का जो मॉडल है वो देख रहे हैं, क्योंकि पहला चरण जो है वो आज लोकार्पण किया गया। अभी इसके दूसरे चरण में इसको विस्तार दिया जाएगा, 5 गुना विस्तार, क्योंकि उम्मीद यह की जा रही है कि जैसे काशी कॉरिडोर के बनने के बाद, महाकाल कॉरिडोर बनने के बाद वहां पर आने वाले लोगों की, तीर्थयात्रियों की संख्या में, पर्यटकों की संख्या में भारी वृद्धि हुई। 13 करोड़ का आंकड़ा अभी हाल ही में काशी के कॉरिडोर के बनने के बाद आया है। अयोध्या में भी उसी तर्ज पर देश विदेश से पर्यटकों के आने का सिलसिला लगातार बढ़ेगा। उसको संभालने के लिए इस क्षमता का विस्तार किया जाना है। तो दूसरे चरण में इसकी जो क्षमता है रेलवे स्टेशन की, उसको 5 गुना विस्तार देने की जो तैयारी है, उसमें नई रेलवे लाइंस का निर्माण और नई ट्रेन के परिचालन की जो व्यवस्था है वो भी की जाएगी। 8 ट्रेन का आज लोकार्पण भी किया जाएगा हरी झंडी के जरिए। वंदे भारत और अमृत ट्रेन का एक साथ जुड़ाव, देश के अलग अलग कोने से अयोध्या को जोड़ने की जो आज परिकल्पना है वो आज जमीन पर आते हुए इस प्रथम चरण में आपको दिखाई देगी। और इस वक्त जो स्थानीय सांसद हैं, उप मुख्यमंत्री, मुख्यमंत्री और रेलवे मंत्री श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव के साथ इस रेल परियोजना।
Prime Minister inaugurating the Ayodhya Dham junction, which is a significant upgrade of the existing Ayodhya railway station, as you've just heard in the government commentary. This is a railway station that is now a truly modern one. It's a much higher capacity one. An additional line, Vande Bharat train, will be flagged off by the Prime Minister in just a few minutes from now. As you can see, he's being briefed on the railway station upgrade by Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. Yogi Adityanath, the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, is also there along with other officials. The Prime Minister getting a full briefing on what this infrastructural delivery actually means for the city of Ayodhya and for the rest of that region. Now, the train being flagged off will have India Today's Milan Sharma on board, and we'll have her live with us in just a moment, because the Prime Minister, from where he is in these live pictures, will be stepping onto the platform in a moment from now to flag off the Vande Bharat train. Now, the Vande Bharat train network is something that the Modi government has taken very, very seriously. They've taken it as a challenge to be one of the biggest and most common infrastructural upgrades that India's age-old rail network will see in different parts of the country. Several Vande Bharat trains have already been flagged off. Highly symbolic that a Vande Bharat train now from Ayodhya that will travel today at least till Gorakhpur is being flagged off by the Prime Minister. So the railway station being inaugurated by the Prime Minister. In a short while from here is the airport, the Ayodhya Dham airport, which the Prime Minister will also be inaugurating, after which there will be a first flight. So we've got all bases covered as far as this unfolding story is concerned, viewer. Milan will be with us in just a moment, but I want to bring Gaurav back in, because Gaurav, before the Prime Minister arrived at these venues, has already been reporting from all of these locations, the railway station, the airport, all of the monuments that have been built along the roads of Ayodhya in anticipation of the Ram Mandir. Gaurav, you know, everything one sees in Ayodhya, at least along the road that the Prime Minister took, reflects the Ram Mandir. It draws from it the construction of the airport, the shape of the windows, the shape of the doors, how the railway station, entrance and foyer has been built. It's all about the Ram Mandir, Gaurav.
It indeed is. In fact, it's a replica of the Ram temple in a way. It's the same, the Shikhar style, the Nagra style of architecture, the Bansi Paharpur or the pink sandstone from Rajasthan that is being used at the airport, the 7 pillars that have been set up. All of this reflects the Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram temple and the Hindu Sanatan civilizational ethos all along in this architecture. That was in fact the thought right from the very beginning. The naming of the airport as Maharshi Valmiki International Airport. Then again, the Adi Kavi, who put together, who wrote the Ramayana inspired by Maharshi Narad, telling him to put the Ramayana together. The fact that it has a lot of viyog or a lot of pain. It also has what the real acharan or the way of life of a king should be and what a Ram Rajya should be. All of that ethos reflects in the way the Narendra Modi government officials say the government is moving forward. Ram Rajya ki or aggressor is what they aspire to do. And at the same time, Shiv, when it comes to these buildings, it's divinity and development together. When you talk of divinity, the architecture, the ethos taken from the temple, from the life of Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram, and development, all the latest facilities available are being brought in and put here, whether it's at the international airport, the railway station, the road development, projects worth 15,700 crore rupees, close to 16,000 will be inaugurated and dedicated to the nation today, launched today, Shiv, or at least, the Shilanyas will take place. So 46 projects in all. Shiv, the connectivity, very, very important. So a train from Vaishno Devi, from Katra to Ayodhya, from Amritsar to Ayodhya, trains that will come from different parts of the country to Ayodhya, north, south, east and west. All of that connectivity extremely crucial to the effort that's being undertaken, Shiv.
Amazing. I mean, this is far-reaching infrastructure that will benefit millions of people, not just in Ayodhya, but beyond Ayodhya as well. And it's important to stress all of this. I'm going to just check if there's sound coming in on these pictures.
सामान्य लोगों के लिए कोई ट्रेन की व्यवस्था ये सरकार कर नहीं रही है, ये एक नई पहल। आपको याद होगा, अगर आपने जब पहले सफर किया होगा, जिसको जनरल बोगी कहा जाता था, घुसना बड़ा मुश्किल होता था। किसी ने रुमाल फेंक करके अगर कोई सीट हासिल कर ली तो चलिए उनका तो सफर किसी तरह से कट जाता था, लेकिन बहुत सारे लोगों को खड़े होकर के बिना किसी स्थान के, बिना किसी सुविधा के सामान को लादे आप बहुत ही मुश्किल से अपने गंतव्य तक जा पाते थे। ये अमृत ट्रेन के अंदर की तस्वीरें हैं। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी हमेशा की तरह बच्चों के साथ संवाद करते हुए, कोई उन्हें कविताएं सुना रहा है, कोई उन्हें अपने लिखे हुए संस्मरण सुना रहा है, कोई चित्रों के माध्यम से उनका स्वागत कर रहा है।
Interacting with young Indians, even as he gets into the train, he's met all of the passengers there. He's meeting all of the passengers inside the train. Young children, students making their way from Ayodhya to Gorakhpur. Viewer, if you're wondering if there's sound from these pictures, there isn't. As soon as these cameras bring us some sound, we will of course make you hear those pictures. So there's no audio coming in, so we can't hear what the Prime Minister and those students are saying, in case you're wondering. Just putting that out there. We on India Today will always let those pictures speak for themselves. Now Milan Sharma is on that train. She's going to be one of the lucky few who gets on that train and steams out of Ayodhya on her way to Gorakhpur. Milan, the Prime Minister is on the train right now. He's meeting with passengers. Yogi Adityanath is also there. Ashwini Vaishnav, the Railway Minister, is also there, meeting and greeting with the passengers.
Well, yes, Shiv. In fact, PM Modi is on the train right now, the very train that I am inside. We are in the further coaches, and a lot of students are also inside this train. Of course, we know that the Prime Minister loves interacting with children, loves interacting with students and young minds, and he's flanked with Yogi Adityanath, who's the Chief Minister of UP, also Ashwini Vaishnav, who's the Rail Minister as well, and excited students I see around me as well, and they're going to be travelling all the way to Gorakhpur from here perhaps, and this train will continue on till Darbhanga. Of course, Shiv, the excitement in the students, I can just see. If I would just like to speak to a few of them. अभी ट्रेन थोड़ी देर में चलने वाली है. आप कितने एक्साइटेड है? ये पहली जर्नी है अमृत भारत ट्रेन की.
हम बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं और हम लोग को इसका उद्घाटन होते हम लोग को इसमें बैठने का मौका मिला, इसलिए हम बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं इसमें यात्रा करने के लिए.
अयोध्या राम मंदिर के बारे में क्या कहना?
अयोध्या राम मंदिर जो न्यू बना है 22 तारीख को इसका उद्घाटन होगा, लेकिन हम लोग इसमें पहले आए वो भी देखने के लिए बहुत अच्छा है हम लोग के लिए.
So Shiv, while we were just speaking, the train has started and it's moving now, and of course it's been pushed forward to flag off from the Ayodhya Dham station where it was supposed to move from. So
You can see the Prime Minister with the green flag flagging you off. That's Milan inside the train. The train is moving. Yes, go ahead, Milan. The Prime Minister flagging you off now.
Yes. Yes, the Prime Minister has flagged us off, and we are in the Amrit Bharat train that will take us all the way to Gorakhpur, from there to Darbhanga. And of course, it's a historic moment because this is the first flag off of this train from Ayodhya Dham station. And just showing you visuals from outside also, my camera person Kirpal Singh, we'll also show you the station a little while from now, because we're just on a slow start. And of course, it is a very exciting moment for all of us, considering that this is the train that is going to connect Darbhanga. There's another train of Amrit Bharat that's also going to connect Malda from, Bangalore all the way down south. And certainly it's going to be one of those trains that's going to show you how connectivity all the way to Ayodhya is going to help people. Look at this. This is the event venue that we are moving away from right now, as PM Modi flagged off the train from Ayodhya Dham station. And they're interacting with the students and talking to them and, chatting with them. That is how, the PM had planned, this entire conversation. Affordable travel, definitely. And excited students inside the train as well, as you can hear chants of Jai Shri Ram, inside the train right now. And certainly the entire momentum of, this travel is to connect Ayodhya to a lot of other places. There you see the station in front of you. That is the access point gates that have been created for the station there. The Ayodhya Dham station, the newly built one, as we were describing, the stonework and the kind of artwork that has been done in the station replicates, the Ram Mandir. And, of course, announcements being made at the station right now, as well as Prime Minister Narendra Modi there flagged off the maiden journey of Amrit Bharat train, which is going to be affordable. It's a sleeper train. It's going to have more general coaches because largely people are going to travel in these trains to come to Ayodhya. That's the station there, Shiv. If you can see, that's the entry point at the station. We see UP Chief Secretary Durga Shankar Mishra as well over there waving to the crowd. That's Prime Minister Narendra Modi there flagging off the train there. The Prime Minister flanked by the Chief Minister as well, and really excited. Everyone's really excited inside the train, and chants, and you can hear yourself, the euphoria in the train is just building up.
Jai Shri Ram! Jai Shri Ram!
So that is the excitement that the students and the teachers and everybody had when they saw PM flag off that train right in front of their eyes. The Prime Minister also smiled and waved at the students. Very excited moment for the people inside. आपने देखा बाहर PM को?
यस मैम.
कैसा लगा आपको?
बहुत अच्छा लगा. फर्स्ट टाइम उनको देख के बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
आपने देखा?
यस मैम, बहुत अच्छा लगा उन्हें फर्स्ट टाइम देख के.
बात करना चाहते थे आप लोग उनसे. अच्छा, ये ड्राइंग क्या लाए हैं आप अपने साथ में? अच्छा, you have, okay, so there is this really good drawing of the Amrit Bharat Express train in Ayodhya Junction made by, what's your name?
Nisha Kumari.
Okay. So Shiv, I know you like art and this is one, art that has been made of the Ayodhya railway station here. This is a drawing and I think it's a fairly good drawing that has been made by this student. And of course, inside the train also, I'll show you, there is euphoria. We've been flagged off from the station. We are outside the station premises now. And of course, excited students everywhere chanting Siya Ramchandra Ki Jai. And that is just the palpable excitement inside the train. Look at that. The crowds outside are also waving at the students. There are crowds outside waving at the students. And certainly now this train is going to go all ahead. But excitement here, as well as if my camera person could just pan and show you that the students are very happy to be part of this train. All right, so that is everyone in the train that has been flagged off by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and of course going all the way here till Darbhanga. First maiden journey of Amrit Bharat Express being flagged off by Prime Minister Narendra Modi from Ayodhya Dham Junction station, the newly constructed station from Ayodhya, and an excited moment for everyone who's traveling in this particular train, while the government wants to make it affordable as well as accessible travel for all those people who wish to come to Ayodhya for the consecration as well as after the consecration ceremony, and everyone who wants to do darshan of the Bhavya Ram Mandir at Ayodhya. Back to you, Shiv, in the studio.
Milan, thanks very much, and I wish you a very, very good journey to Gorakhpur. Milan is on that train with all those happy students now pulling out of Ayodhya Dham Junction and heading towards Gorakhpur, also in Uttar Pradesh. That's going to be a lovely journey. So much history in what is contained in that train, that the fact that it's been flagged off from a brand new junction in Ayodhya is a very, very big deal. This is going to be, I imagine, a very, very busy route of devotees who will be traveling to and from Ayodhya, and we'll get you all those pictures and more pictures coming in. The Prime Minister there has just flagged off the Vande Bharat train from Ayodhya Dham Junction. The upgraded railway station looks like this from the outside. As you can see, it's a replica of the Ram Mandir, at least the one part of the Ram Mandir, and therefore a reflection really of what's coming up in just a few days from now on January the 22nd. I want to go back to Gaurav Sawant, who's at the Sabha venue. Remember, the Prime Minister will be headed now in a short while to the airport. Gaurav, do we know if the Prime Minister will be staying at the station and doing an interaction there, or is he going to be going straight to the airport now, finish over there and then arrive at the venue where you are?
So Shiv, he'll actually walk around the railway station right now.
Yeah.
He wants to see all the latest facilities that are coming up for the devotees who will come to Ayodhya. And Shiv, if I may, this railway station is being described as the gateway to the temple, because you reach the railway station, you reach Ayodhya Dham, put all your luggage in various lockers that have been kept there. Then there are bathing areas, separate bathing areas. You take a bath there, and after you've left your luggage at the locker, you can just walk to the Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram temple. So there is a Ram Path from the railway station to the Ram Janmabhoomi temple. It's about a kilometer-long walk, and it's a beautiful walk. Very rich architecture on either side. It's being carved in stone. That carving process is still on, but that's part of phase 2 and phase 3 of work here at Ayodhya. Phase 1 will be completed now. So for the consecration on the 22nd of January, then phase 2 begins, which is the first floor of the temple. On the ground floor of the temple, you have Ram Lalla, or the child lord, who's about 5 years old. On the first floor, you have the Ram Rajya or the Ram Darbar. Then on the second floor would be the Shikhar, which would be 161 feet high. So that's a very tall Shikhar that will come up. And until that day, for devotees who come on the 22nd of January, it will be a floral Shikhar that will be built. And that again promises to look very, very beautiful. The Prime Minister then comes to the airport, inaugurates the airport, walks around, and then comes here to the Sabhagar. It's all about connectivity, Shiv. Roads, railway and airport. All the projects are all about connectivity.
Incredible, Gaurav. And the way you've described it, the fact that each and everything has been thought of, with due consideration for the devotees who arrive in Ayodhya by train, lockers, bathing spaces, connectivity directly to the mandir. This is all going to be very, very important. And that's the reason why India Today is also the most watched channel on Ayodhya and Ram Mandir coverage, because we're also providing our viewers with answers to some of the questions we may have, because we've been flooded by questions. When can I go to Ayodhya? When do I need to book? Can I take a flight now? Can I take a train now? Are there any tickets that I need to get to go to the Ram Mandir? All of these questions are answered right here on your screen. And I guarantee you that the frequently asked questions are being constantly updated. So all you need to do is really watch India Today and you will have all your questions answered. Poulomi Saha is at the airport where the Prime Minister will be heading to very, very shortly. Poulomi, the railway station event, short and crisp. The train is pulled out of the station with our colleague Bullion on board. The Prime Minister will be arriving at your location now for the inauguration of the airport. Everything set?
Oh, absolutely. Everything is set and the airport is all decked up as well for that big inauguration by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The airport is right here. It's a little foggy at this point of time still in the morning, so you can't see much of the airport. But Pawan will try to give you a glimpse of that airport, which will be shortly unveiled by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Maharshi Valmiki International Airport, Ayodhya Dham, which will be inaugurated in a short while from now. It will, of course, be another short and crisp program before the Prime Minister heads to the public meeting venue, which he's scheduled to address at about 1 p.m. So he's running a little late on that, of course, as per the scheduled time of the program. But you can see the crowds that continue to pour into that public meeting venue, which is right next to the airport. So it's an empty plot right next to the airport where that meeting is scheduled to happen. The airport, of course, is all set. The new terminal building is ready. Today, of course, are the two inaugural flights of Indigo and Air India Express, which will be landing here this afternoon after 3 p.m. after the inauguration ceremony. Not commercial operations, but the commercial operations, for those who want to know, have already been announced. There's a schedule out there, so you can already start looking up for your flights if you're planning to fly in to Ayodhya from Delhi, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Kolkata or Bengaluru, because both Indigo and Air India Express have already announced the flight schedule for these. Many of them happen to be daily flights as well, so a lot of connectivity there in terms of options that you have when you want to come into Ayodhya, be it the newly redeveloped Ayodhya Dham railway station or, of course, the Maharshi Valmiki International Airport of Ayodhya Dham as well. The terminal building is all ready and there are major expansion plans as well, Shiv. As far as this airport is concerned, there will be a terminal building which will be much, much larger in area as well. The runway will be expanded as well in the phase 2 of the development of this airport, which will be expanded by about 3,700 meters as well. And then, of course, there is an apron with 18 aircraft parking spots as well. There is a taxi track as well. So various facilities, of course, inside the airport in terms of ensuring that the operations are smooth and, of course, are able to handle the kind of traffic that they're expecting to come into Ayodhya. So already they have planned for about 10 lakh annual passengers, but the expansion plan is such that they expect at least 60 lakh passengers annually can be handled by the newly, inaugurated airport, which will be inaugurated in a short while from now, Shiv.
And Poulomi, I envy you. Poulomi is going to be one of the lucky few on the first flight out of the new Maharishi Valmiki Airport, Ayodhya Dham, in a short while from now after the Prime Minister inaugurates it. So she's going to be part of history. Gaurav is a part of history. Milan is on that train. So all of India today's reporters on the ground very much steeped in what's going on. These are milestone moments for the holy city. These are moments that millions of people, not just in UP, and I want to stress this over and over again, because the Ram Mandir is most definitely not just about Ayodhya. It goes way beyond Uttar Pradesh. It goes way beyond India. It goes all across the world. And I've just been told by our producers, Gaurav and Poulomi, you'll be happy to know that India Today viewership at this point of time, and I want to say this because it's important, it means that no matter what the story, and especially on the big stories, India Today's viewership is completely in domination of all else. The Ram Mandir is rising. India Today's viewership has conquered, rivals completely decimated, and that is a tribute to how our reporters have brought us this story. They are the only team who are at the locations where the news is actually taking place. That's the reason why India Today continues to be the only channel that brought you that entire roadshow by the Prime Minister, that Vijay Yatra of sorts by the Prime Minister as he reached the Ayodhya Dham station. So India Today's viewership, I'd like to thank all of our viewers. We are told that this viewership is not coming just from India, but from across the world. So, my heartfelt namastes to all of our viewers for acknowledging that our coverage, which has been painstaking in the planning, is being watched by so many people. Gaurav, coming back to you now, the Prime Minister has a brief day in Ayodhya. The real stuff comes a little later in January. You, of course, will be back there. Poulomi will as well. But today's events are in many ways not just the surround sound. And the Prime Minister will be speaking after the airport inauguration at the Sabha where you are. What is this Sabha? Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Gaurav? Are these just common folk who are assembling to hear the Prime Minister? Tell us a little bit more about it.
So Shiv, the motto that the government is now following, taking forward, its concept of divinity and development together. When you talk about connectivity, you also talk about the most modern aspects plus our civilizational roots all coming together. And the Prime Minister will emphasize upon it when he comes here. Now, projects worth 15,700 crore rupees will be dedicated to the nation or launched today at this venue. Some of it already happening with the railway station at the airport. But the roads, there are many road projects that will be announced, and not just within Ayodhya, not just the Ram Path or the Dharm Path, but there are also other major road widening projects across eastern Uttar Pradesh, other parts of Uttar Pradesh that will be announced, connecting Uttar Pradesh to other parts of the country. Those projects, electrification projects will be announced, a water treatment plant, sewage treatment plant. How does an ancient city also be made the most modern city? That is what will be announced today. And Shiv, there is a proper roadmap for it. There are very detailed meetings that go into very late at night. I was to interview a very senior official and I was waiting, so that initially that interview was scheduled for afternoon, then evening, then late evening, and then that meeting went on till virtually midnight. And top officials of the Uttar Pradesh administration were in that meeting till midnight. Yogi Adityanath, as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, was walking down the Rampath and the Dharmpath streets, personally supervising all the activities that were taking place, because his point was all of this is actually the dress rehearsal the full dress rehearsal for the 22nd of January consecration. And that consecration isn't just any political event. Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram's Divya Bhavya Murti, when it comes up at the Garbh Griha of the Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram temple in Ayodhya, it's a civilizational moment for India. It is Hindus who've struggled for 500 years to get this. They are finally getting it. With that seriousness, the government is moving forward, and this is just step one. Step one of one part of the temple. Then there will be a second floor of the temple, then the shikhar of the temple, then the entire complex, if I may, for benefit of our viewers who are joining us. Okay, look at that excitement. Look at that excitement behind us when people ask, what is this excitement all about? I want our viewers to see what this excitement is all about. This is an early Diwali. It's an early Diwali. Remember what is the history of this land. So this is what I wanted our viewers to see. This is the common people of this country, and these aren't just perhaps at the venue. They could be either voters of the BJP or people the BJP is getting here, but all across Ayodhya. When you hear a Jai Shri Ram or anybody chants Jai Shri Ram, there are about 100 others who will respond chanting Jai Shri Ram. And this is where they claim that this is India reclaiming its civilizational history. I want to bring in Paulami Saha into this conversation. Paulami, today, if it's all about development, the 22nd of January will be all about dharma and devotion. So both aspects the Prime Minister is taking forward, development and devotion.
Well, absolutely. You know, the centre and the Prime Minister's vision has been that while, of course, you dedicate to the nation the Ram Temple on the 22nd of January 2024, you also build the infrastructure in Ayodhya in order to ensure that tourists, pilgrims, devotees who come into Ayodhya city after, of course, the Ram Mandir is, open to the public for all devotees and pilgrims, then, of course, they should have the best of infrastructure as well. The roads should be redeveloped. They should be beautified as well. There is an airport now in Ayodhya as well. And there is, of course, the redeveloped railway station. Several such projects in terms of redevelopment and, of course, building the infrastructure around the city will be dedicated to the nation today at the Sabha, which the Prime Minister will be addressing. Because like I was saying this morning, today the Prime Minister will be announcing developmental projects close to about 15,700 crore rupees. 11,000 crore rupees of that is going to go to Ayodhya itself, and the rest of it will be dedicated to other projects in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So as far as the vision for Ayodhya is concerned, it's a long vision in terms of developing the infrastructure over here. There will be, of course, the tourism, the hotel industry, which will start booming over here after, of course, the Ram Temple is open for the public. So all of that has been kept in mind. So today, of course, like you rightly pointed out, it is about the infrastructure that we're talking about, which, of course, Ayodhya will be able to enjoy now. Of course, the redeveloped railway station. He's flagged off the Amrit Bharat Express trains, the Vande Bharat Express trains, and then, of course, the airport, which he will be now inaugurating, where you can basically start flying into Ayodhya directly as well. And there's connectivity, direct connectivity, daily flights even from many cities, including, of course, Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Ahmedabad and Bengaluru, which have already been announced. And we hear that these are Indigo and Air India Express announcement. We already hear that SpiceJet, Akasa Air have already also expressed their interest in connecting Ayodhya to other major cities and tier 2 and tier 3 cities as far as aviation connectivity is concerned. So it is going to be extremely significant today because of these infrastructure projects. But yes, January 22nd 2024 will be about faith, will be about, of course, religion, and it will be a big day as far as those who've waited for this moment for a very long time is concerned. And that will be, of course, a long drawn program, as you've been telling our viewers, over a week long, that, various little rituals will be performed leading up to that consecration ceremony on the 22nd of January 2024. But yes, here going into that venue right now to hear the Prime Minister speak, where the Prime Minister in fact will be laying out that very vision for Ayodhya before the people of Ayodhya. And these are people not just, of course, from Ayodhya, they're coming from neighboring cities and towns as well, chanting Jai Shri Ram, of course, waiting to hear the Prime Minister speak in a short while from now. Gaurav?
Oh, absolutely. And all the events that are taking place that actually start in a while from now. And I'm not just talking about the Prime Minister's visit today. 14th of January, you have 1008 Havan Kunds where a Havan will be performed to please the gods. That's happening on the 14th of January. Then from the 16th of January, the official consecration ceremonies begin. The Prime Minister will be there for the actual Pran Pratishtha on the 22nd. But 7 days before that, on the 16th of January itself, the process and the ceremonies will start. Day 1 will be seeking the blessings of the gods. And again, all ancient Hindu scriptures, Sanatan Dharma scriptures, how was this done in the times of what's written in these scriptures? That is being gleaned. Several rishis, sages, seers, saints, they've put their heads together and they've drawn up a plan. So there will be Godan, there will be Varun Puja, there will be Vastu Puja, then Nagar Brahman, the idol of Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram that's been selected. That selection process went on till very late in the evening yesterday. Finally, of the 3 idols, 1 idol has been selected, and that idol will be taken for Nagar Brahman. It's an age-old parampara. Remember, at the Jagannath Puri temple, Bhagwan Jagannath is taken for Nagar Brahman on his chariot. Similarly, Ram Lala, that 5-year-old child god, would be taken for a Nagar Brahman. He'll go to various older temples, and then his idol will be taken to the Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram temple at the Ram Janmabhoomi for its consecration of Pran Pratishtha. That again is a very beautiful process. It's a very beautiful ceremony. Not all details are out in public domain, but when I spoke to Acharya Satyendra Das, the chief priest of the mandir, he told me that this beautiful process will involve the Lord being bathed in holy waters. 125 urns have come from various holy rivers from across the country and in Nepal. The Lord will be bathed, then he'll be clothed in new clothes, golden threads, various other clothes have come for the Lord. He'll be immersed in food, in grain. All of these are ceremonies that are age-old traditions. And then with a golden stick, the Prime Minister will apply kajal around his eyes and then show him a mirror. It is usually said that the mirror cracks because the murti of the Lord or the pratibimb of the Lord is so beautiful that it cannot be captured on any lens or on any aina or any mirror. And after that, Shiv, if I may, very briefly, on Ram Navami. Ram Navami is the day when Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram's born. On Ram Navami, when the sun rises, the way it's been done, and astronomical data has been taken for the next 20 years, that the sun rays will reflect on the forehead of the Lord. The sun rays will reflect on the forehead of Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram. He is a Suryavanshi. And after that, those rays will be reflected on devotees who will be about 25 to 30 feet away. So this is how devotion, divinity, ancient civilizational knowledge and the latest scientific knowledge are all being woven in together for this Divya Bhavya Ram temple coming together, Shiv.
The images are leaching symbolism right now. You know, everything that we're looking at, every single camera frame that India Today's reporters have brought to us from the ground, suggests that symbolism, suggests that spirituality, that divinity. There is a parallel political fight that is going on at this point of time, viewer, between the opposition and the BJP over this entire consecration ceremony that comes up in just a couple of weeks from now. But I can tell you that millions of devotees, millions of the faithful, lakhs of people in Ayodhya who you see in these crowds, see what's happening beyond the prism of politics. Nobody can deny the political history of the track that has led to the Ram Mandir, the legal battle, what has happened in Ayodhya, etc. But nobody can similarly ignore the faith of millions. And what Gaurav is really mentioning here is that divinity, that civilizational awakening that is represented in many of the things happening in Ayodhya today is something you cannot take away from the faithful. And these are faithful who are not just sitting in Ayodhya. These are not just people sitting in North India. These are millions of Hindus and devotees of different faiths. And remember that in Ayodhya, there is a representation of how this isn't just an article of faith for Hindus, but a symbol of communal unity. There is something about the syncretic nature of the Ayodhya monument that is coming up as well, that India Today has reported. That is a story that has gone viral because it is a very little understood part of the entire Ram Mandir ceremony. And all of this makes a huge difference in the message that goes out really to the world. This is not just a Hindu monument that is coming up. This is an Indian monument that is coming up, and it will receive millions of the faithful from all over the world. By air, by rail, by road, what have you, Ayodhya will be a very, very accessible Uttar Pradesh city very, very soon, starting in fact from today itself. Poulomi, is the Prime Minister on his way? We haven't seen his cavalcade leaving from the railway station just yet, but I imagine that he'll be wrapping up from there very, very soon.
That's right. He will, of course, arrive at the airport very shortly. Like I said earlier, his program is running a little late at the moment, but possibly he's taking a tour of the airport right now, the redeveloped Ayodhya railway station, to get a sense of the project which has been developed by the Union Ministry for Railways. Then, of course, he will be taking a tour of the airport as well. It's a small terminal building, but it has been built, keeping in mind many aspects of sustainability, environment friendliness as well. So basically it's an amalgamation of the modern technology as well as the spiritual and everything that Ayodhya otherwise stands for, which is, of course, the birthplace of Lord Ram. So to depict that, of course, you will see a lot of history and heritage on, the walls of the terminal building, the shikhars, which are the spires as far as this architecture is concerned. The architecture of the terminal building in itself is to replicate, the Ram Mandir as it's being built right now, as it's being constructed right now. So it's a mix of the modern and the spiritual as well. So you get a sense of both as well. So you get the best of facilities inside the airport in tandem with any other airport, which is catering to a metro city as far as India is concerned. And then, of course, you see this airport as well. So everything in keeping with that. So shortly, the Prime Minister will be at the airport. He will, of course, inaugurate the airport. And, of course, you can hear the Jai Shri Ram chants behind me, because these are the crowds that are now headed to the Sabha, the meeting venue. Pavan will show you the meeting venue. That's the meeting venue right there. And that's right next to the airport. So it's going to be a quick stopover at the airport. He will inaugurate the airport and then he'll immediately shift to the meeting venue to address these crowds who've been gathering over here on this very chilly, cold morning in the month of December, waiting to hear the Prime Minister. Let's try and speak to some of them as well. कितना बड़ा दिन है आज? यहाँ पर रेलवे स्टेशन का उद्घाटन कर दिया प्रधानमंत्री ने. कुछ ही देर में एयरपोर्ट का भी उद्घाटन करेंगे. अयोध्या में एयरपोर्ट भी आ गया.
बहुत खुशी की बात है. मोदी जी ने बहुत ही अच्छा, समझ लो कि हम लोग के लिए, बहुत अयोध्या वासियों के लिए बहुत ही अच्छा कोई भी प्रधानमंत्री इतना काम नहीं किया जितना मोदी जी ने कर दिया है हमारे अयोध्या में. योगी और मोदी की जोड़ी एकदम सुपर हिट है और इनको 24 में जबरदस्त डबल इंजन की सरकार लाना है. की बात फिर
डबल इंजन की सरकार आप कह रहे हैं. अयोध्या में जिस तरह से तैयारियां हो रही है, क्योंकि राम मंदिर का भी उद्घाटन होगा जनवरी के महीने में, तो सड़कें वगैरह, आप खुश हैं उस काम से?
बिल्कुल एकदम संतुष्ट है. ये समझ लीजिए योगी और मोदी हमारे देश को सुधारने का बहुत ही अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं. और उत्तर प्रदेश आप देख लीजिए, यूपी, अयोध्या जिस तरह डेवलप हुआ है उस तरह और कोई राज्य नहीं डेवलप हुआ. हर राज्य में हर मुख्यमंत्री होता है, बट योगी जैसा सरकार कहीं नहीं मिलेगा.
So they're very happy with all the sort of development work that has taken place in Ayodhya. Looking forward, of course, to many more such developmental programs. Like I was saying earlier, the Prime Minister at his meeting venue will be announcing many such development projects as well. He's going to dedicate to the state of Uttar Pradesh close to about 15,700 crore rupees worth of projects. And out of that, 11,000 crores will be dedicated for the development of Ayodhya.
Very, very interesting. So the Prime Minister will be arriving there shortly. We've just heard that there's a possibility that the Prime Minister might take a small detour. This is not confirmed. We don't want to speculate whatsoever. But the Prime Minister, there has been, people have been wondering whether the Prime Minister might actually take a small detour, go towards the Ram Janmabhoomi, for a photo op before arriving at the airport. We don't know that for sure. We'll have to wait and see. All that is, of course, only the preserve of the Special Protection Group and the Prime Minister's cavalcade. We don't know that for sure. But obviously, if that happens, we'll be bringing you those pictures live. But the Prime Minister, remember, is being updated constantly. He's getting real-time updates constantly about, the Ram Mandir's progress. The fact that the consecration ceremony was aimed for January the 22nd after slight delays. It could have been a little earlier, but there were some delays because everything needed to be worked out absolutely perfectly. Security in the town, all of the arrangements, all of the infrastructure that Polomi and Gaurav have been reporting for us. All of these mean many, many things. Now, the Prime Minister has made it a point to devote a large part of today in Ayodhya to interacting with the people. That's the reason why he didn't just get into his cavalcade and dash to the railway station. You saw him, hang out of his car, the way that he likes, waving to the crowds, smiling at the crowds. Then he reached the railway station, interacted with the crowds after the flagging off of the Vande Bharat. Before the flagging off, he was on board that train, meeting with young students who were part of that historic, Vande Bharat train from Ayodhya to Gorakhpur. So this is the Prime Minister ensuring that people connect remains absolutely intact. These are not just official engagements, not just official events. Of course, it's election season as well, and the Prime Minister is often accused of milking every event, for that ground connect. But this goes beyond the politics. Ayodhya is symbolic. The Ram Mandir is symbolic. The BJP can very well, even as the opposition, fumbles under the spotlight of the politics over invitations that have been extended to them, the BJP and Prime Minister Modi get to enjoy the full glare of the publicity over the Ram Mandir event. And who will fault them for it? You've got an opposition that has been that has not acquitted itself with any level of self-confidence. They've appeared to be defensive. They've appeared to be petulant. They've demonstrated a lack of self-confidence and assuredness as far as the Ram Mandir is concerned. And in the meantime, you have pictures like these, viewer. You know, that is the way politics works. Nobody can deny the political color of the Ram Mandir, the journey towards the Ram Mandir. Similarly, nobody can deny that much of the Ram Mandir as it stands today goes way beyond politics. Of course, it has a political history. Of course, there will be politics over the consecration ceremony invitations. But it is folly, stupidity and idiocy to ignore the faith of millions that is attached to what is happening today in these live pictures that Gaurav and Pallavi is bringing to us. And that will be to the detriment of opposition leaders who choose to only see this through a political prism. Now, that is only my personal opinion, but it is also the personal opinion of millions who are watching India Today's coverage of this historic day. The Valmiki Airport in Ayodhya. First pictures coming in from inside the Valmiki Airport. The full name of the airport is, of course, the Maharishi Valmiki Airport Ayodhya Dham. That's the name of the airport, that the Prime Minister will be inaugurating very, very shortly. These are images of the Prime Minister. I'm just going to get you a confirmation if this is the airport or... Okay, this is the airport. Okay, this is the airport. This is the Prime Minister inaugurating the No, this is... Okay, we've got... I apologize for that wrong location there. That's an incorrect location. This is at the railway station earlier today. This is the Prime Minister inaugurating the Ayodhya Dham Junction railway station. This is not the airport. The Prime Minister has not reached the airport just yet. Our apologies for that location mistake. That's the Ayodhya Dham Junction that we are showing you right now. These are images, of course, from a short while ago. The Prime Minister has not. I'm going to get a confirmation from our reporters. The Prime Minister has not yet left from the Ayodhya Dham Junction. Things running a little bit late, but that's normal. That's completely normal because it appears that the Prime Minister might be taking a separate route. We don't know for sure, but his next stop will be the airport. He's going to be heading from the railway station now towards the airport. He's still possibly being briefed inside the railway station. Gaurav, are you hearing anything? Running slightly late, but the Prime Minister will be departing from the station shortly and heading towards the airport.
Shiv, from what I had been told by officials of the railways was that the Prime Minister had actually shown interest that he wanted to walk around the railway station and see all the facilities that had been created. And Ashwini Vaishnav, the Railways Minister, who's worked very closely with the Prime Minister in the Prime Minister's office, is actually showing me around because this railway station has a lot the way the Prime Minister wanted it to come, the way it to come up. And after that, including that path that should go to the Ram Janmabhoomi from the railway station where the locals should be, where people should be able to rest. Because the Prime Minister's focus, according to railway officials, was that the poorest man who boards a train and comes here should not be inconvenienced at all, should know that he's come to Ram Nagri, and Ram symbolizes, the way the Sanatan Dharma followers live. Adarsh Purush, Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram. And in every way, Ram symbolizes an ideal son, an ideal father, an ideal ruler, an ideal husband. Many, of course, may doubt or raise questions about that. But that's the way the Sanatan Dharma followers believe it to be. Now, that's exactly how they... Beyond that, then he moves to the airport, inaugurates the airport and reaches this Sabha venue where again he talks about why this country needs to connect with its civilizational roots and then realize how we need to move forward. Shiv, in Ayodhya, they often tell us that people started aviation, the Wright brothers, about 100 years ago. But in the Ramayana, there is a mention of the Pushpak Viman. So Pushpak Viman wasn't a figment of imagination. It was something that existed. It's just that over the years, we forgot our ancient knowledge. Now the quest is, with our civilizational roots, regain that knowledge. A lot of that symbolism here, the Pushpak, Hanumanji, Bali, Sugriv, Angad, a lot of that is displayed here throughout Shiv. in Ayodhya to show what Ramayana was all about, what life was like then, and what life needs to be once again, Shiv.
Very, very important to note the civilizational awakening that is represented in the images that you see coming in from Ayodhya. It bears a constant reminding. Interesting that Gaurav tells us that the Prime Minister did express an interest in staying on at the railway station, getting a full walkabout of the new junction, because these are pieces of infrastructure that go beyond just a flagging off of one train. The effects, the benefits, the spillover impact of a new line, a new junction at Ayodhya, like I said, has benefits that go beyond just Ram Mandir devotees. It will lead to progress and prosperity in the in this particular district and beyond in Uttar Pradesh as well, other parts of eastern UP. We're going to show you more pictures of this. What we're waiting on now for our viewers who've just joined India Today's big record-breaking coverage at this time is the Prime Minister will be leaving from the railway station, the Ayodhya Dham station, very, very shortly. He will be in his cavalcade, so we'll be getting you those live pictures as he moves out of the railway station and head towards either the airport or the Ram Janmabhoomi site. Could it be a site, a route change by the Prime Minister for a quick check of the Mandir constructions? Because remember that the Prime Minister has been briefed constantly about the Ram Mandir construction. He's been getting perhaps even daily updates about where things are actually at. His former Principal Secretary, Nripendra Mishra, who you've seen prominently here on India Today, he has been in charge of the Ram Mandir Trust. He's been overseeing things in person right through this entire journey that the Ram Mandir has taken and has been fully involved in getting things on track and on time. So you'll be hearing from him as well very, very soon. The Prime Minister has been in touch with other members of the Ayodhya Trust to make sure that the event that happens today, this inauguration, as well as the lead-up functions and events till the 22nd consecration, are fully befitting the expectations of millions of the faithful all across UP, all across India, and indeed all across the world. Now, the crowds have come out in large numbers. They've been lining the streets. You can see that big crowd behind Polami, behind Gaurav as well. And all of those crowds are there because the Prime Minister will be speaking. Many of them were there to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister as he rode past in his cavalcade. Many thousands of them will be at the Sabha where Gaurav is reporting from to listen to the Prime Minister. It's going to be interesting to see what the Prime Minister will say in this address. Remember, the Prime Minister just gave India Today a big showstopper of an interview for 2023, providing a glimpse of what lies ahead in 2024. Election-wise, otherwise, his own unique style. Gaurav, in his interview, the Prime Minister said a couple of very interesting things that I can, link to these pictures that we're seeing of him now, where he says that, there is no real unique approach. When he was asked about a unique approach, he said the unique approach is about being connected to the ground, connected to the people, not allowing there to be any gap between himself, and the people. He says that is his unique approach. And he actually demonstrates it wherever he goes, Gaurav. The very fact that this schedule is running late because the Prime Minister wants to walk around the station is a representation that the Prime Minister loves that ground connect.
A ground connect where people instantly connect with him, respond to him, and react to him. There's a lot of conversation that is why he does not need a lot of people when he's talking directly to his voters. He spends a lot of time interacting with youngsters. So many say he's not just talking to his current voters, he's actually talking to his future voters who 5 years from now will vote for the first time. So this is how he thinks about connecting with voters. That's one point. Another point which is very critical, the Prime Minister always thinks on a very big scale. Nothing is on a small scale. Nothing is perfunctory. Nothing is temporary. This Ram temple, again, the scale is huge. If the soil had to be removed, then they dug 15 meters to ensure that all the soil was removed. The layers of concrete that was set up, the amount of granite that was put in, a temple that will last another 1,000 years. You know, in that interview to India Today's chairman and editor-in-chief, Mr. Arun Puri, Vice Chairperson Kalipuri and Rachingappa, he's also made a very important point that मक्खन पे लकीर तो कई लोग बनाते हैं, पत्थर पे लकीर बनाने की जरूरत है. So to make a mark in history, you need to take big decisions, tough decisions. And this Ram Mandir construction, the manner in which this temple is being constructed, the road infrastructure, the manner in which airport, railways, roads is happening, or Shiv, the beat that you and I cover, defense and foreign affairs.
Gaurav.
The bombing of Balakot after Pulwama, that I think is one of the biggest decisions that a government has taken.
Very interesting pictures coming in, Gaurav. Let's just put those pictures prominently. The latest coming in right now. The Prime Minister has just met with a Nishad family. Now, the Nishad, as you know, is a community that exists in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. The Prime Minister has just met with a Dalit family as well. He's visited a man named Ganiram Manji. He's visited their house. These are pictures of the Prime Minister visiting a Dalit family as well as a Nishad family in Ayodhya. India Today's Samarth sending us these pictures right now from just a few minutes ago. So we are keeping you fully on track with the very latest viewer. The very latest. I think Samarth is also through with us. Samarth, if you're with us, take us through these pictures. The Prime Minister visiting the home of a Nishad family as well as a Dalit family, Ganiram Manji's house in Ayodhya. The significance of this, Samarth, take us through it.
Well, exactly, Shiv, Prime Minister of India visited Rajghat area of Ayodhya where he met Ganiram Manji, a beneficiary of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. So that is the thing, that how Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi connects to the public even on the ground. So it was not expected at all. It was not even in the plan given by the UP government or by the PMO, but it happened because that is a public connect Prime Minister of India shows, because he was the beneficiary. He is the beneficiary of PM Awas Yojana, and that's why to oversee like how PM Awas Yojana is reaching onto the ground. That is why PM Modi went to the home of that particular person, Manji, and went inside and had a word with him. And if I'll ask my cameraman to show the pictures as well. It is also expected that Prime Minister's convoy may come here around Lata Chowk area, and cameraman Sandeep is showing you the visuals right here. You can clearly see that the entire road has been cleared by the policemen, and it is expected that PM Modi's convoy may reach any time here. You can clearly see from another end. Earlier, a few minutes back, we saw Prime Minister Modi waving hands at the public, and now again security is tight here, and the people, the commoners, are being removed from the roads, and you can clearly see behind the barricades, you will be seeing many people are waiting for Prime Minister Modi. And here are another pictures out here. You can clearly witness that. I'll ask my cameraman to move alongside me, and you can clearly see Lord Bajrang Bali here in the form. You can see many pictures of Ramayana, and this is one another picture where you can see that identical Bajrang Bali is out here, and such colorful pictures are coming from
पनकी धाम कानपुर नगर से आया हूँ। जैसा कि मैं न्यूज 18 में अभी 17 राम सीता विवाह के उसमें परिचय दिया था। मैं पनकी धाम इंटरनेशनल वीर हनुमान के नाम से जाना जाता हूँ, और अयोध्या इस वजह से आया हूँ, राम नाम की अलग, मरते दम तक इसी रूप में सुबह 2 बजे दर्शन देता हूँ, शाम को 2 बजे, और यही पर तब करूँगा।
This is the flavor of Ayodhya. As you just saw, that this is an identical picture. He's enacting just like Lord Hanuman, and these are the visuals we are trying to show you from Ayodhya. such flavor, and out the public, you can clearly see the public out here just waiting to get a sight of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Such hoardings of welcoming Prime Minister of India and various such pictures all around this particular place. And these are the Surya Stamps which I'll ask my cameraman to show. That's because he was the Suryavanshi king, Lord Sri Ram, and that's why such Surya Stamps are identical in Ayodhya. So these are the things, and also when you see in between all these rushy things, Prime Minister makes time to meet the beneficiary of one of his PM Awas Yojana, and that makes sense and shows the connectivity of Prime Minister of India. Back to you.
Pretty amazing, and I want to bring Gaurav also into this. Samarth has been reporting, Gaurav, that the Prime Minister in these pictures went to the house that, like we've just shown, of an Ujjwala beneficiary. He had chai, sat down and had chai at her residence. A very important milestone, we are told, as the Labharti Behan, the woman he had chai with, was the 10 croreth beneficiary of the Prime Minister's Ujjwala scheme. 10 crores. That's incredible. That's an incredible number. And to mark that, that very special, significant number, the Prime Minister went to that person's house to have chai with them, Gaurav.
Shiv, Ujjwala Yojana was described as a game changer in the 2019 elections.
Yeah.
Ujjwala Yojana was described as a game changer even when Yogi Adityanath was elected as Chief Minister. This is something that has done immense. The women vote came the BJP's way in a very big way. The Prime Minister, incidentally, it's his mother's Punya Tithi today. The Prime Minister was very close to his mother, and he said as a young child, he used to watch his mother when she had difficulty breathing because she would make food on firewood. And he decided one day, if he's able to bring about a change, this is one change he will bring in lives of women, that they will not have to collect firewood and make food on firewood because their breathing problem, their coughing used to hurt him. When he became Prime Minister, he brought about this change, and that's actually had a major impact on the lives of people. When you're talking about 10 crore Labhartis of Ujjwala Yojana, it just shows that has had a major impact. Point one. Point two, he will also be interacting with the Labhartis of the 55 lakh homes that government has provided. 55 lakh people in Uttar Pradesh itself have benefited from homes. That's another aspect. Shiv, Nishad, again, when the Prime Minister meets members of the community, it's a signal, civilizational signal. Even Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram, when he had to cross the river Ganga near Prayagraj, Nishadraj, Kevat Nishadraj helped Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram cross the river. So that gratitude towards Nishadraj remains in the Hindu civilization, and that is why when this temple comes up, the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi temple complex comes up, there is a temple dedicated to Nishadraj, there is a temple dedicated to Shabrima, there is a temple that's dedicated to Maharshi Vashisht, Maharshi Vishwamitra, Maharshi Valmiki. So taking all communities together, taking all Hindus together, that was the life of Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram. Ma Shabri fed him, Nishadraj helped him cross the river. That tradition continues, is the effort that all Hindus have to be together, is that message that is being sent out, Shiv.
Very, very interesting. It's, the Prime Minister is using his minutes in Ayodhya, very, very beautifully. The symbolism of visiting a Nishad home, the 10 croreth beneficiary of the Ujjwala Yojana, also the home of a Dalit, Ghaniram Manji's home as well, tells you that the Prime Minister never takes his eye off the people that he's working for. The ground connect that we talk about as far as the Prime Minister is concerned, is demonstrable. It's visible. That's what the Prime Minister says he works for. In his interview to India Today, the Prime Minister said it is this ground connect that differentiates him. He describes himself as a karyakarta. He describes the BJP as a party that's different from others because it allows those who are in the ranks to rise up to become even a chief minister or a prime minister. And therefore, the prime minister, very comfortable, with the masses, with the element, with the communities that his government has sought to especially benefit because of their situation and their position as far as economic backwardness is concerned. So the Prime Minister there taking out very, very important minutes to make sure that he visits these families. Remember, a great deal of politics, of course, will also be read into it by the opposition. I'm sure we'll have those reactions coming in very, very shortly. This, after all, is election season, and everything that the Prime Minister says and does will be looked at justifiably through an election and political prism. There's nothing wrong with that. This is, after all, a democracy. Elections are the will of the people. But the Prime Minister, very, very aware that the nation's eyes are fixed on him right now. So every symbol, every picture, every word, and the Prime Minister will be speaking a short while from now, that's going to be extremely well considered. Samarth continues to be with us from the location where the Prime Minister had met with those families. Samarth, where is the Prime Minister now? When is he heading to the airport? Okay, we'll connect with Samarth in just a moment. I think he can't hear me. His audio is not connected. And he's got a man dressed as Hanuman standing behind him as well. We'll try and get a conversation in with that gentleman who's standing there. The devotion, the color in Ayodhya is so difficult to ignore. It's everywhere you look, in every frame. Look at all the people behind both Gaurav and Poulomi. They're all there. They all, understand the significance of today. They all understand, why today is so important. You've got mothers with little kids. You've got old people. You've got youth. You've got people, who've perhaps taken a day off work, even if it's a weekend, to be here on this special occasion. I'm sure people have come from outside Ayodhya as well to catch a glimpse of Prime Minister Modi. So the yatra in Naya Ayodhya has in fact begun, the second leg. Here's Prime Minister Modi's cavalcade now leaving from that location where he's met those families. And I think, I'm going to guess that he's heading towards the airport right now. The Prime Minister will be inaugurating the Maharishi Valmiki Ayodhya Dham Airport in just a few minutes from now. Ayodhya is not a very big town, but the construction of the airport, the railway station, the Ram Mandir, all very much in keeping with urban development norms, obviously. And the Prime Minister and his cavalcade there you see now heading towards the airport. The airport from where the first civil flight will be taking off right after the inauguration. India Today's Poulomi will be on that plane as well. And we've got more information coming in that the Prime Minister will be speaking at that Sabha where Gaurav is reporting from right after the inauguration at the airport. All of these wide frames giving you a very, very nice clear view of what Ayodhya looks like on this cold winter day. It's very cold there as well. This is the route that the Prime Minister is taking towards the Valmiki Airport, where he will be arriving at very, very shortly. Millions watching this live stream and on television in India and across the world. Lots of culture, lots of symbolism, lots of divinity on the roads right along the stretch that the Prime Minister is taking. Dance performances, cultural plays being performed by locals and others in tribute to what is being inaugurated today. So this is a great deal of color, a great deal of symbolism that the Prime Minister is part of. Okay, I think the Prime Minister, yep, live pictures coming in. The Prime Minister once again waving to the crowds. I think this is at the airport. I'm going to get a confirmation of whether this is at the airport. The Prime Minister, I think, has reached the airport, the Valmiki Dham Airport. That's the Prime Minister there waving. Let's just get in some sound from the ground. Okay, so this is en route to the Valmiki Airport. This is the Lata Chowk with that beautiful veena that you can see in the background there. This is Lata Chowk, also very, very symbolic. The Prime Minister walking around the Lata Chowk. Abhishek Mishra is live with me. Abhishek, Prime Minister at Lata Chowk en route to Valmiki Airport. Take us through what you're seeing. Prime Minister stopping there to wave to the crowds. Okay, we'll connect with Abhishek as well in just a moment. I think there are jammers which have been activated there, possibly as a result of which our reporters are not able to hear us. That's an occupational hazard when you're tracking the Prime Minister viewer. Nothing abnormal about it. But we'll have them back, I assure you, in a few seconds from now, and you'll be able to hear what they're saying. This is the Lata Chowk in Ayodhya, where the Prime Minister is doing a quick walkabout. This is the Lata Mangeshkar Chowk, and that's the reason why you can see veena there. This was inaugurated in Ayodhya just last year, in fact, just over a year ago in September. The chowk will inspire the art world, the Prime Minister had said during the inauguration by Yogi Adityanath last year. The construction of the Ram Mandir is progressing fast, and the Lata Chowk and its inauguration, that beautiful big musical veena, an Indian musical instrument, very, very symbolic, a tribute to Lata Mangeshkar. The intersection, it lies on the intersection of the banks of the Saryu River, featuring this 40-foot long, 12-meter high veena weighing 14 tons, adorned by 92 lotuses, and is a monument to one of India's greatest musical maestros, Lata Mangeshkar. And this is at the Lata Chowk in Ayodhya. It was inaugurated last year by Yogi Adityanath. The Prime Minister couldn't make it. He joined the inauguration by video conference. Let's just listen in. I think Samarth, my colleague, is reporting from the ground.
क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप? प्रधानमंत्री का दौरा है प्राण प्रतिष्ठान।
प्रधानमंत्री जी सामने जो आ चुके हैं और वही दृश्य आपको दिखाया जा रहा है। जय जय श्री राम।
प्राण प्रतिष्ठा को लेकर क्या कहेंगे आप?
प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के लिए 22 तारीख का सभी इंतजार कर रहे हैं, और मैं ही तपस्या जैसे राम के हनुमान जी की है उसी तरह से यहाँ तप करने के लिए आया हूँ।
आपकी इस वेशभूषा का क्या मतलब है?
हमारा मतलब है भक्ति करना, भक्ति जगाना, राम नाम की अलग पूरे विश्व में विदेशों तक जमाना।
राम मंदिर बन रहा है तो बजरंग बली राम भक्त खुश हैं।
अति खुश है, वो तो चरणों के दासी है उनके, और उनको तो अपार खुशी है, और भक्तों को भी अपार खुशी है। 22 तारीख का इंतजार कर रहे हैं भक्त लोग, आ रहे जा रहे हैं।
ये बजा के दिखाइए।
ये करतरिया है, करतरिया भजन की
गाना वाना भी गा रहे हैं आप। बहुत मैं सुन रहा था, आप कोई गीत सुना रहे थे जी। शुरू।
सीताराम 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 जय राजा राम सीताराम सीताराम सीताराम। सर, सीताराम की महिमा ये है, 2 बार द्वारिका, 3 बार त्रिवेणी, 4 बार पुष्कर के अंक में नहाए थे, 5 बार नैमिषार, 6 बार गंगा, 7 बार सरजू में मज्जन कराए थे। रामनाथ, बैद्यनाथ, बद्री, केदारनाथ, 10 दिशा धाये, 1 कोटि यज्ञ फल पाए थे, और जेते फल होत कोटि तीर्थ स्नान किए, तेते फल होत एक राम नाम गाए। सीता कोटि कल्प का
From there, Abhishek, Prime Minister cavalcade appearing to leave now for the airport. He made a small stopover at the Lata Chowk. Big symbolism there as well. The close friendship between Prime Minister Modi and Lata Mangeshkar is also very well known. So the Prime Minister making it a point to stop at Lata Chowk before he heads to the airport, Abhishek.
Well, absolutely, Shiv. And today, Prime Minister is not leaving anything which has a significance for Ayodhya. Be it, going to the Nishad house, meeting that person, inviting him, at the same time also visiting this Lata Mangeshkar Chowk. We'll show you we are just at that particular spot where hardly 2 to 4 minutes before Prime Minister has visited this place, not only went there but also gave his regards to Lata Mangeshkar, and this whole area, Lata Mangeshkar Chowk area right now is in high sentiments with, you can see how the Ayodhya people, the local people were gathered here, and just only the cavalcade of Prime Minister Modi has left from here towards the airport, which is now the major highlight of today's itinerary. This airport, Maharshi Valmiki International Airport, equipped with world-class services, and we're expecting a big footfall in Ayodhya from the second week of January, when the commercial run will begin, connecting different parts of the country, Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru, and at the same time from Ahmedabad and other cities as well. And that is why a lot of sentiments which is happening here. And you see all these, all these folk artists who were here performing were very excited. क्या कहेंगे आप? प्रधानमंत्री को देखा कैसा लगा?
सर बहुत अच्छा लगा, और हम लोग तो दूसरी बार देखा है प्रधानमंत्री जी को, और बहुत ही खुशी हुई कि हमारे अयोध्या में प्रधानमंत्री जी आए और हमारे यहाँ अब एयरपोर्ट का उद्घाटन हो गया और हम लोग कहीं भी फ्लाइट से आ जा सकते हैं। ये बड़ी
दुनिया के लोग आएंगे, लगता है सब लोग आएंगे दुनिया के लोग।
हाँ बिल्कुल, हम लोग बहुत खुश हैं कि हम लोग मतलब यहाँ पर बहुत ज़्यादा खुश हुए हैं। और आप
कितनी तैयारी की थी आपने, कब से तैयारी?
बहुत मन से, बहुत समय से हम लोग तैयारी कर रहे हैं। बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है, बहुत आनंद आ रहा है हम लोग को आज।
मोदी जी ने देखा आपकी तरफ, इशारे भी कर रहे थे, सबको नमस्कार कर रहे थे।
हाँ, बाय बाय किए हम लोग को। हाँ किए हैं।
क्या 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 कौन सा डांस आप लोग कर रहे थे उस समय?
हम लोग बधावा कर रहे थे।
राम आए अयोध्या
और सजनी राम।
अयोध्या बदल रही है?
पूरी अयोध्या एकदम बदल चुकी है और बदलने की संभावना भी है, हो सकता है और बेहतर भी।
एयरपोर्ट का उद्घाटन करने जा रहे हैं, फ्लाइटें आने लगेंगी?
फ्लाइट आने लगेंगी, अब आ भी चुकी हैं, एयरफोर्स वाले पूरा आ भी चुके हैं, सब कुछ आने की संभावना भी है।
Yes, yes. So certainly, sir, Shiv, you've heard what these folk artists also has to say. They're very excited with the presence of Prime Minister Modi. And airport is something which is exciting everybody here in Ayodhya. We've spoken to all of them, and they are saying that it will give them an opportunity for the people to come. अब एयरपोर्ट शुरू होने वाला है, प्रधानमंत्री, आपको लग रहा है पूरी दुनिया के लोग आएंगे?
हाँ लगेगा।
बहुत खुशी है इस बात की?
हाँ बहुत खुशी है।
कहाँ से है? कितने समय से लग रहा था कि एयरपोर्ट बन जाए?
कितने समय?
एयरपोर्ट बन जाए?
नहीं बिल्कुल नहीं लगा।
जिस तरीके से आपको लगा था कि इतनी जल्दी काम हो जाएगा?
नहीं लग रहा था, लेकिन लग गया, बन गया सारा।
मोदी जी को देखने आए, कहाँ
देखा, बहुत खुशी मिला हम लोगों को। यहाँ रहता है।
पहली बार देखा?
नहीं, पहली बार देखा। 2 बार। हाँ पहली बार बहुत खुशी मिली। हाँ हम सब 2 बार।
बहुत कुछ हो रहा है, अयोध्या बदल रही है,
बहुत ज्यादा बदल रही है, बहुत खुशी भी हो रही है हम लोग की, बहुत ज्यादा।
The voices, all these girls, the local people here have gathered here to see Ayodhya, to see all, the arrangements. And you see a big amount of these saints are also coming, priests are also coming, taking the flag of Lord Sri Ram, Lord Hanuman. And, Ayodhya is giving us a vibe of Treta Yuga today. We can certainly say that, this is just a glimpse of what you could expect on the 22nd of January, when the big day will arrive, and finally Lord Ram will be in his temple. And we are already expecting a big number of people who are coming here, but today everybody expected the kind of vibe. And when Prime Minister arrived, everybody wanted to see him, and that's what has happened here, Shiv. And now it's all time for that important inauguration of Maharshi Valmiki International Airport, which is all set to be inaugurated. Prime Minister Modi, and the commercial flight will begin soon from Ayodhya to all over the world. Yes.
I love those voices you just got us, Abhishek, because that is something that cannot be stage managed. That is something that cannot be faked. This is the heart of the people on full display for such an important day. Many of them saying, they came out just to see the Prime Minister. All smiles. They've been practicing for so long. This kind of thing, I think, is precisely what energizes Prime Minister Modi. To hear voices like this, and I'm sure he sees it everywhere he goes. He constantly talks about how there is so much more work to be done. He calls himself the Pradhan Sevak, which is very, very symbolic, and I'm sure appreciated by people all over Ayodhya and certainly all over the country. And that really sort of manifests in the things they say, the genuineness with which they speak about the Prime Minister. And I think politically speaking, that is something that is difficult to achieve. And the Prime Minister holds that very, very dear. He's heading to the airport now because remember the Prime Minister's unique style, apart from the ground connect, apart from the apart from everything else that he does when he is on these visits, is also the idea of Viksit Bharat, a progressive modern India, and the intersection between civilization and a modern rising India is something and a vibe that the Prime Minister occupies very, very prominently. And that's the reason why, Gaurav, and I wanted to bring you in on this because I know this is something that interests you, the intersection, the overlap between the civilizational that is there for everyone to see and the modern, an ancient temple and a modern airport, ancient faith, ancient epics, the stories of Ram, and at the same time modern infrastructure in a modern city that is literally ready for the entire world. That is very, very important to recognize, Gaurav.
Shiv, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was elected the first time, one of the countries he visited and paid a lot of attention to detail was Japan, and he visited Kyoto. Kyoto is an ancient city with the most modern amenities, and he studied Kyoto very closely. He took officials with him to study Kyoto so that they could replicate Kyoto in Kashi. And not just in Kashi, there were lessons to be learned which they can be replicated in Ayodhya. And the aim is to once again reclaim civilizational centers and make them the most modern centers of learning, of education, of healthcare. Shiv, today we are all talking a lot about airports and railway and power projects and roads. What is also equally high on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's agenda is education and technical education. So there is a Maharshi Rajarshi Dashrath Polytechnic on nursing care and paramedical care. That is also being inaugurated today. A lot of these projects are to do with the civilizational learning that comes from Ayodhya. And Shiv, his hope or aspiration is that Hindus from across the world will congregate here, know more about our civilization, know more about our religion and culture, and take it across back to their countries, take it back across 7 seas and pass it on to future generations. A tree with a firm root is always a very tall and a strong tree, is something that he said in the past. He talks about future generations being connected to the roots. That is when your faith will never be shaken by those who may try. And a lot of effort was made. You and I have actually lived through that, when a lot of effort was made by certain quarters to make Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram look small or not important, or not give Ayodhya the importance the Ayodhya deserved. But an effort was made constantly, not a government approach but a legal approach for a solution to Ayodhya so that it would be lasting, and then the government approach to ensure infrastructure is developed. But devotees' approach and a independent trust were funded by people for a Divya Bhavya Ram temple to come up, so that blame does not come that government made the temple. It's a trust that's making a temple with your money and mine. The common people of this country are paying for that temple to be built, Shiv.
Very, very important point to note that you've just mentioned, Gaurav. And I also want to tell our viewers that these are live pictures coming in. The Prime Minister has reached the Valmiki Airport in Ayodhya, where he will be inaugurating airport operations. The first flight will be taking off shortly after that inauguration. India Today's Poulomi Saha will be on that flight a little later. Here's Prime Minister Modi, accompanied, of course, by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, not visible in these pictures, but he must be inside, is also going to be there, of course, for this inauguration. Poulomi Saha, who's going to be one of the lucky few on that flight out of the Ayodhya Dham airport shortly, is also with us. Poulomi, The airport fully ready for operations. The Prime Minister is about to inaugurate it. He's outside the airport right now, having a quick chat with Chief Minister Yogi before he enters. Take us through what we're going to see now, Poulomi, and about the airport.
Well, that's right. In a short while from now, the Prime Minister will be inaugurating the airport itself, the Maharshi Valmiki International Airport, Ayodhya Dham. And as you can see, the crowds over here at the public meeting venue only swelling. But as far as the airport is concerned, the new terminal building is ready. The airport is ready for operations as well. Today, of course, only inaugural flights that will be landing here in a short while from now. Indigo will land here first, and subsequent to that, Air India Express will be landing here with its swankiest, newest purchase, which is a Boeing 737 MAX 8 series aircraft. So that will be landing over here already. We're getting word from Delhi Airport that the check-in has started. The check-in counter of Indigo for the Ayodhya flight is all decked up as well, and the first passengers, of course, after receiving their boarding passes, are extremely excited as well. The new terminal building, Shiv, of the airport, which is right behind me, Pavan, will stay on that right now. Basically is spread out over 6,500 square meters. It has a lot of murals and a lot of artwork and paintings which basically depict the epic tale of Ramayana. So you get a sense of why Ayodhya is famous and what exactly is the Ramayana, the tale of Lord Ram. So as soon as you touch down on this airport, you get a sense of that. They have built it to handle a passenger capacity of about 10 lakh passengers annually, but there are expansion plans as well that they've slotted for this airport for the phase 2. This phase 1 of the airport has taken about 1,450 crores of project money, but there is a phase 2, like I said, where the runway will be expanded as well. The runway will be expanded by about 3,750 meters. It will then have a new terminal building as well, spread out over 50,000 square meters. So that will have a passenger capacity, an annual passenger handling capacity of about 60 lakh, 3,000 peak hours and 60 lakh annually. So that is, of course, as far as this airport is concerned. Like I said, Indigo and Air India Express will be landing here shortly after the Prime Minister has inaugurated that airport. And already, of course, there are bookings that have been opened because the flight schedule is out as far as both these airlines are concerned. They're starting commercial operations in the month of January, 10th of January to be specific. Indigo starts, subsequent to that Air India Express as well. So if you want to fly in from Delhi, Kolkata, Bengaluru, Mumbai and Ahmedabad, already direct flights have been announced. So you can go on to these online portals and book your flights for Ayodhya, especially if you want to be here in time for the consecration ceremony on the 22nd of January. Flights will be available. You can land here via flight.
Very, very interesting. So flights are already available from all of those cities. More flights will be added in due course. 2 flights are going to be landing very, very shortly after the inauguration. These are pictures that you're seeing on your screen from just a few minutes earlier when the Prime Minister was outside the airport. He's just gone inside now, and we'll be getting you live pictures from inside in just a couple of minutes from now. The information that Poulomi sent us, you can see all of that on your screen. Those are the connecting flights that you're going to see flying directly into Ayodhya as soon as the inauguration is over. So the Ayodhya airport is ready in all respects. I imagine that there will probably be some international flights at some point as well. Most certainly charter flights, carrying devotees from different parts of the world will be theoretically able to land directly in Ayodhya as well to see the Ram Mandir. All of that will unfold through 2024. So January 22nd is the consecration, the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. After that, the doors of the Mandir will open to the public. All of those details of access, what you need to do, how to get to Ayodhya, you can see all of it right here on India Today. So the Prime Minister was at Lata Mangeshkar Chowk a short while ago. That's the big 40-foot veena that is a tribute to India's Florence Nightingale, as Lata Mangeshkar was called. She is someone that the Prime Minister had a very close friendship with throughout her life. And then you've got the Prime Minister now at the Maharishi Valmiki Airport, Ayodhya Dham, He's accompanied by Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and others. His security detail is, of course, there. There will be some measure of security happening inside the airport before the Prime Minister enters, but we understand that Prime Minister is already inside the airport right now, and he will be inaugurating the airport. The airport becomes official after the inauguration. The Prime Minister waving at the crowds, never losing an opportunity to connect with the crowds, because he acknowledges that those crowds are there to see him. All of those people you see around Polomi when she was speaking to us just now are also people who've come there in the hope that they get a glimpse of the Prime Minister, and that's the reason why he never loses an opportunity to, acknowledge the crowds, wave at them, because he knows it means a lot. That wave, that eye connect, eye contact, acknowledging people who've come from a long way off, perhaps to actually see a Prime Minister, is not something small. It's not something to be toyed with. It stays with people. It means something symbolic to people. They remember it all their lives. Many people are beneficiaries. That's the reason why the Prime Minister visited Labharti Ben, the 10 croreth beneficiary of the Ujjwala scheme, which was deemed to be very, very successful. One of the Prime Minister's most successful schemes, something that he's called a pet scheme, really. And all of it coming just, weeks before a big national election where the Prime Minister stands to create history by becoming, perhaps, if it all works out for the BJP, only the second Prime Minister in India's independent history to win a third term. So the election flavor that's in the air cannot be ignored, but the spirituality, the symbolism, the adulation and the astha, as we're calling it, cannot be ignored either. You can't really mix the two up. Both of them exist in their own universes, and both of them are equally important. The reason why the Prime Minister is inaugurating both a railway station and an airport today is to signal that the city is ready. The city is ready with open arms to welcome people from across the country and across the world, and to symbolize that Ayodhya is ready to take care of them, to be modern for them, is an ancient city, but with these modern amenities that the Prime Minister is inaugurating, so that people's experience in coming to the city meets their requirements and meets their expectations. Remember, the world has changed, but this is civilization being reloaded, rebirthed as it were, and given its rightful place in the hearts of millions across the country. So the train has been flagged off from the station. The Prime Minister will be inaugurating the airport as well very, very shortly. Gaurav, just a quick query with you. After today's inauguration of these infrastructure elements, the railway station and the airport, are there more functions that will be taking place in Ayodhya in the run-up to January 22nd? Or will there be largely just the finishing touches to the Ram Mandir? Or will there be more things that the Prime Minister and others will be part of?
Shiv, I'm sorry, could you repeat your question there? Jitin Prasad is speaking here and the talkback is on. So, Shiv, can you please repeat? Can you repeat your question?
Yes, Gaurav. Gaurav, I just wanted to know if you can hear me, that after today, will there be more events involving the Prime Minister? Will there be more functions in Ayodhya in the run-up to January the 22nd? Or is the next big event the consecration ceremony?
For the Prime Minister, the next big event is the 22nd of January when he comes for the Pran Pratishtha of Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram's idol here at Ayodhya. But for that ceremony, the Prime Minister again has such an eye for a detail that he's spoken to the chief priest of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi temple. He's spoken to other priests and also to the Tirth Kshetra. And he's asked, does he need to follow any rituals? Does he need to go on a fast before that? Does he need to wear any certain kind of clothes, a dhoti kurta and not a kurta pajama? Is there something that he needs to follow, any ritual he needs to follow? He wants to follow everything to the T, and all of that information has been given to him what he needs to wear, what he needs to do. The fact that that golden pencil stick, that kajal stick, would be given to Prime Minister Narendra Modi to apply kajal on Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram's 5-year-old Sri Ram's idol. All of that, the fact that he will be showing a pratibimb or the reflection to Lord Ram when that consecration ceremony takes place, where that band will be removed from the eyes of Lord Ram and the world will see him, he will see the world. That process, all of that has been explained in great detail to the Prime Minister, and he wants to know every detail, every minute detail. There will be very few people inside the Garbhagriha at that point of time, while there will be thousands of invitees, and there's a mad clamor, for invites. People are using every connection possible to get an invite. There isn't enough seating place, in the temple complex, and more people want to come in. The saints, the seers, their assistants, the political parties, the civil society members, devotees, diplomats, a lot of people want to come. But, that list is still being pruned and more names people want to add to it. That's the information we were able to gather from officials of the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra. And when you ask them that what about leaders you've called who don't want to come, their point is Ram ji jise bulaenge wo aayega, jo na aayega uski jagah lene 10 aur aayenge. So this is all about Lord Ram and not about some politician who may be sulking and may want to stay away. Again, an example that several Tirth Kshetra officials have also off the record and off camera have said that even when a wedding is taking place in a family, there is one relative who's always sulking. So that relative may want to be the center stage, be on center stage, but he's not center stage. The wedding ceremony is more important. Similarly here, the consecration of Lord Ram is important and not who comes or who chooses not to come, Shiv.
A very good example you've taken, Gaurav. The angry Fufaji, as it were, the opposition really looking like that. Let's call it as it is. And I'll be speaking more on this in a short while from now. But, the fact that the opposition hasn't had the confidence and the self-assuredness to actually be part of an event that, let's face it, has a political element but goes beyond the politics as well is pretty embarrassing. It's pretty shameful. Let's call it for what it is. The Prime Minister is at the Valmiki Airport. In fact, I just wanted to give you another example, viewer, of the Prime Minister's ground connect, where everything is very considered. Just take a look at this. Take a look at these pictures that have just come in from the Prime Minister when he was en route to the airport. We're just going to be putting them on your screen in just a moment from now. After meeting Meera Manji, from the Dalit community in one of the beneficiaries of the Ujjwala scheme, the Prime Minister also met and took selfies with children who had reached Meera Manji's house to see the Prime Minister. He also signed his autograph on a painting of the Ram Mandir that was made by Swati, a BA third-year student, and Anuj, a class 6 student. We're just going to put those pictures on your screen in just a moment from now, where you'll see that. The Prime Minister taking some time out for some kids who'd come to see him all the way. Well, they got lucky, definitely, and got to meet the Prime Minister. He also... Okay, apologies for the delay. We're just putting that image on air in just a moment. And here you have it. Here are the pictures of Swati, a BA third-year student, Anuj, a class 6 student, who had come out to meet the Prime Minister. He not only met them, he took pictures with them. He signed a little Anuj's illustration of the Ram Mandir as well. That's Narendra Modi's signature, the Prime Minister's signature there, expressing thanks. His signature, very valuable for the Prime Minister to meet these students and these students to meet the Prime Minister, because it provides both with something that they cherish very, very deeply. The Prime Minister for a ground connect, being able to connect with the youth, because this experience for young Swati and Anuj will go beyond just their homes, because this is something that they will carry with them through their mohallas, through their neighborhoods, and talk about the Prime Minister, something that he values very, very deeply. The personal touch, the people connect, spending time with people, very, very important for the Prime Minister. In a moment from now, we'll also have pictures of the selfies we are told that he took once he was actually there. We've also spoken to Meera Manjhi's family. They had a quick chai pe charcha with the Prime Minister. This is the home that the Prime Minister visited. Let's just listen to that conversation right now.
ये पता चला कि सिर्फ चाय पियेंगे, तो मैंने चाय बनाया उनके।
तो चाय उन्होंने खुद ही मांगी?
जी, बोले क्या बनाई हूँ, मैंने कहा चाय बनाई हूँ, तो बोले पिलाओ ना ठंडी में।
अच्छा।
जी,
ठंडी में चाय पिलाओ।
जी,
चाय लेकिन मीठी हो गई।
जी हाँ, मीठी हो गई थी चाय। जी,
ये मीरा है, इनका घर भी थोड़ा सा अगर हम दिखाएं कि ये मध्यम वर्गीय परिवार है। यहाँ पर आज प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी यहाँ इनसे मिले, इनसे बात की और मीरा के हाथ की बनाई हुई चाय पी। आज इस परिवार के लिए वो दिन था जो इसके लिए कहा जा सकता है कि इस परिवार के लिए अविस्मरणीय दिन रहा है। कैमरा पर्सन रोहित के साथ संतोष कुमार, आज तक। हाँ।
Okay, that was Meera Manjhi and her family who had prepared chai for the Prime Minister. Listen again to that conversation.
मिलने के लिए पहुंच गए थे वो परिवार। उज्ज्वला योजना की लाभार्थी जो 10 करोड़वीं लाभार्थी थी, अयोध्या की रहने वाली मीरा, उनसे मिले थे। हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए मीरा खुद ही है। मोदी जी आपके घर आए थे?
जी, जी।
क्या बात हुई, क्या बोले?
यही बोले क्या क्या लाभ हुआ। मैंने कहा कि गैस मिल गया, घर मिल गया रहने के लिए। पहले मेरा कच्चा घर था, मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई कि आप मेरे घर भी आए, मुझे हर सुविधा दिए, मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई। यही सब। जी।
कितनी देर बात हुई आपसे उनकी?
जी, वही लगभग 10-15 मिनट।
अच्छा।
जी, 10।
आप बिल्कुल आप द्रवित हैं, बिल्कुल एकदम।
जी, 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 बहुत खुश हैं एकदम। हमें तो जी।
चाय पी?
जी, चाय।
तो चाय किसने बनाई थी?
जी, मैंने बनाई थी।
अच्छा, तो क्या बोले, चाय कैसी है बनी है?
बोले चाय में बनाता था, पर चाय का स्वाद बहुत अच्छा है।
अच्छा,
जी
हाँ।
हाँ, बोले चाय का स्वाद बहुत अच्छा है, थोड़ी मीठी कर दी हो।
हाँ।
तो मैंने कहा मैं मीठा ही बनाती हूँ।
मीठी चाय? अच्छा
जी, बोले मीठी थोड़ी कर दी हो। मैंने कहा मीठा ही चाय मैं बनाती हूँ, तो बोले बहुत अच्छा है।
परिवार में आपके कौन कौन है मीरा?
जी, मेरे सास है, मेरे ससुर है, मेरी जेठानी है।
अच्छा,
जी।
अगर ये मीरा का घर है, ये घर है, यहाँ पर परिवार के और लोग भी जो हैं उनके साथ में। ये आपके कौन है?
ये मेरे पति हैं।
आपकी भी बात हुई मोदी जी से?
जी।
क्या बोले मोदी जी?
ये बोल रहे थे कि जो हमारा मतलब जो किए हैं सब, मतलब सब ठीक है। तो मेरे हाँ सब ठीक है, आप आवाज़ दिए हो वो भी सब अच्छा लग रहा है, मतलब आपकी आवाज़। हाँ, तो वही मतलब पूछ रहे थे आवास आपको मिला है? तो हमने कहा हाँ आवास मिला है। तो मतलब पूछ रहे खुश हो? उनसे हाँ बहुत खुश हैं आपसे। तो और पूछ रहे थे कि और कुछ मतलब सुविधाएं आपको मिला है? तो हमने बोला हाँ पानी भी मतलब फ्री में ही मिल रहा है, उससे भी हम लोग बहुत।
इतने लोग के बाद मतलब 10 लोग करोड़ के बाद मतलब आपका घर हमको वो लगा, इसीलिए आपके घर पे पधारे हैं।
अच्छा मीरा, जो है 10 करोड़ जो लाभार्थी थे जो उज्ज्वला योजना के तहत, वो 10 करोड़वीं लाभार्थी हैं आप।
जी।
इनके आपको सिलेंडर मिला?
जी।
तो सिलेंडर मिल रहा है ना?
जी। जी।
अच्छा मोदी जी जो बात कर रहे थे आपसे, तो मतलब और भी कोई बात, बच्चों से बात हुई आपके किसी से?
हमारी लड़की से बात हुई, उससे थोड़ा प्यार दुलार किए। मेरे लड़के से थोड़ा प्यार दुलार किए। जी, बोले बहुत शरारती है। हाँ, ये थोड़ा बदमाश।
तक बिल्कुल कैसा लगा आपको?
बहुत अच्छा लगा। अरे मेरे घर में तो भगवान आ गए और कुछ।
कौन आ गया?
भगवान आ गए मेरे घर में। जी। कभी ख्वाब में नहीं सोचे थे, सपने में नहीं सोचे थे कि ऐसा कभी होगा। जी।
कब पता चला कि मोदी जी आ रहे हैं?
जी, हमें तो आधा घंटा बाद पता चला। हाँ, ये
1-8 घंटे बाद
जी
पता चला। पहले पता
जी
चला।
ये पता चला कि कोई नेता आएंगे हमारे घर खाना खाने। अच्छा। हाँ जी।
तो खाना वाना बनाया था?
जी, बनाया था मैंने, दाल चावल हाँ।
अच्छा, ये पता था कि मोदी जी आ जाएंगे?
नहीं, ये बिल्कुल नहीं पता था हमें।
फिर आपको कब पता चला? जब
ये वही बोल रहे हैं आधा एक घंटा पहले पता चला, तो मैंने कहा क्या करूं मैं इतना जल्दी कि क्या हो जाए, मतलब क्या बनाऊं कि हाँ जल्दी हो जाए। हाँ, पर ये पता चला कि सिर्फ चाय पियेंगे, तो मैंने चाय बनाया उनके।
तो चाय उन्होंने खुद ही मांगी?
जी, बोले क्या बनाई हूँ, मैंने कहा चाय बनाई हूँ, तो बोले पिलाओ ना ठंडी में।
अच्छा
जी,
ठंडी में चाय पिलाओ।
जी
चाय लेकिन मीठी हो गई।
जी हाँ, मीठी हो गई थी चाय। जी,
ये मीरा है, इनका घर भी थोड़ा सा अगर हम दिखाएं कि ये मध्यम वर्गीय परिवार है। यहाँ पर आज प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी यहाँ इनसे मिले, इनसे बात की और मीरा के हाथ की बनाई हुई चाय पी। आज इस परिवार के लिए वो दिन था जो इसके लिए कहा जा सकता है कि इस परिवार के लिए अविस्मरणीय दिन रहा है। कैमरा पर्सन रोहित के साथ संतोष कुमार, आज तक।
So that was Meera Manji, who had chai with the Prime Minister. Very, very symbolic. I'm sure we'll have pictures of that chai pe charcha also very, very shortly. So the Prime Minister spending a few minutes. She is the 10 croreth beneficiary of the Ujjwala Yojana scheme that the Prime Minister considers very, very close to his administrative tenure. The Prime Minister is now at the Valmiki Airport, where he will be inaugurating the airport there for Ayodhya. Swati and Anuj, two young students who came out to meet the Prime Minister, got lucky. The Prime Minister met with them and they spoke to the Prime Minister as well. And we spoke to Swati and Anuj, of course, immediately after the Prime Minister left. Here's what these two lucky young students said to India today.
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी आज अयोध्या के दौरे पर थे, तो अचानक से उनका मन हुआ कुछ बच्चों से मिलने के लिए और एक बस्ती में चले आए। हमारे साथ वो दो बच्चे हैं, अनुज और उनकी बहन है ये राखी। ये मिलने के लिए आए हैं। ये देखिए, पहले तो नरेंद्र मोदी को उन्होंने ऑटोग्राफ भी दिया, नरेंद्र मोदी ने आपको, है ना? दिया। तो क्या बात हुई, क्या बोले?
उन्होंने बोला कितना टाइम लगा था, तो मैंने बताया टाइम कितना लगा था।
ये पेंटिंग आपके बनाने के लिए?
हाँ, पेंटिंग बनाने के लिए कितना टाइम लगा था, तो वही बताएं।
कितना?
तो
3 घंटे लगे दोनों लोग।
आपकी भी बात हुई मोदी जी?
यस सर, हमारी बात हुई। हमको उन्होंने सेल्फी दिया है।
सेल्फी भी ली है भाई?
यस,
वाह, ये
हम लोग
ले ली है।
सेल्फी भी दिए हैं। और बीच में मतलब उन्होंने पूछा ये तुम्हारे भाई हैं, हमने बताया हाँ यस मेरे भाई हैं। और कहा कि पेंटिंग बनाने में कितना टाइम लगा है, तो हम लोगों ने बताया कि 3 घंटे लगे हैं। रात में जब अचानक पता चला कि हम लोगों को आ रहे हैं, तो हम लोगों ने पेंटिंग बनाई।
अच्छा, पता था कि तुम लोग मुझे?
अरे पहले से हम लोगों ने बनाया था, तो अच्छा लगा कि मतलब घर पे रखा था, जल्दी से उठाकर लेकर आए।
अच्छा, ये बनाई किसने, तुमने किसने?
दोनों लोगों ने साथ में मिलकर उसको
वेरी गुड भी
बनाया है।
हाँ, दोनों ने मिल करके बनाई है। ये ऑटोग्राफ किसने मांगा है?
बाबू ने मांगा। उनके गार्ड ने। उनके गार्ड।
तो क्या कहा आपने, ऑटोग्राफ?
नहीं, हम ऐसे कर रहे थे लेके, तो वो आए कह रहे बहुत अच्छी है, तो वही दे लिए ऑटोग्राफ।
हाँ। और उनके गार्ड्स ने बोल रहे थे कि आप सेल्फी नहीं ले सकते, तो प्रधानमंत्री जी खुद ने कहा कि नहीं बच्ची है, आप सेल्फी लेने दीजिए, हम ऑटोग्राफ भी दे रहे हैं।
अच्छा, वो सेल्फी।
हाँ, वो
प्रधानमंत्री की बच्चों के प्रति सहृदयता देखिए कि उनके एसपीजी के प्रोटोकॉल में हुआ कि नहीं बच्चे सेल्फी नहीं लेंगे, लेकिन ये प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की सहृदयता कि इस बच्ची के साथ उन्होंने सेल्फी ली। और आज बहुत बड़ा दिन, क्यों राखी
जी? मेरा बहुत बड़ा दिन है, उनसे मिलकर बहुत खुशी है। हमारे मोहल्ले में आए कंधरपुर में, मेरे पापा यहाँ के पार्षद रह चुके हैं।
अच्छा, तो आपसे भी बात हुई?
हाँ,
जी बिल्कुल बात हुई है, बिल्कुल। आप नमस्ते।
आंखों में आंसू दिखाई पड़ रहे हैं।
जी। अने खुशी का दिन है, हम लोग कभी सोच नहीं सकते थे कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी यहाँ आएंगे। हमारे को एक जो है सुबह जानकारी हुई कि नहीं कोई आ रहा है, तो ये हुआ कि कौन आएगा, तो ये हुआ कि नहीं प्रधानमंत्री जी आ रहे हैं, तो हम लोगों को बड़ी खुशी हुई कि माननीय चले प्रधानमंत्री जी आ रहे हैं।
ये इन लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़ा दिन जो कि प्रधानमंत्री से मुलाकात हुई है। कैमरा पर्सन रोहित के साथ संतोष कुमार, आज तक।
Okay, so that was young Swati and Anuj, who the Prime Minister met with. Okay, pictures coming in now from inside the Delhi airport. I think this is the Delhi airport. Where people... I just want to get this correct so that our viewers are not confused even for a moment. This is the flight in Delhi that's about to take off for Ayodhya. So this is inside the Indigo flight in Delhi, at the Delhi airport. This is the flight that's about to take off and land in Ayodhya. Listen in.
रियली वेरी वेरी इम्पोर्टेंट, क्योंकि किसी भी मतलब चालक के लिए आप देखिए या पायलट के लिए ये एक ऐसा मौका है जो हर कोई तमन्ना करता होगा, मुझे लगता है। लेकिन चूंकि जो पायलट हैं और मैं चूंकि हम सेम परिवार से पति पत्नी हैं, तो हमारा गुरु स्थान जो है अयोध्या है। तो 4 पीढ़ियों से हमारा गुरु स्थान वही है और हमारी अटूट आस्था है, तो उसी जगह जा रहे हैं। और लक इज विद अस दैट वी हैव गॉटन द अपॉर्चुनिटी ही टू फ्लाई एंड आई टू बी विटनेस इट।
How you count the excitement of passengers today?
So the first passengers on the first flight to Ayodhya from the Delhi airport. This is the Delhi airport where passengers, you can see, boarding the flight. Slogans of Jai Shri Ram. Let's get some sound in from there. Delhi airport getting set to board that first flight. First flight from Delhi to Ayodhya, which will be landing in a short while from now. These are pictures that are taken a little earlier. The first civil flight to land in the new Maharishi Valmiki Airport, Ayodhya Dham. And these are the first lucky passengers who are on board that flight. There are 2 flights. There's an Indigo flight, there's an Air India Express flight, both that will be landing a short while from each other at the Ayodhya airport. So I'm going to try and bring back those pictures from inside the aircraft where you had those voices as well. I want our viewers to hear the people inside the plane as well. Lots of slogans, lots of Jai Shri Ram at the airport before the passengers board. Many devotees, many who wanted to be part of this historic day and are on the first 2 flights that will be landing in Ayodhya in a short while from now.
Jai Shri Ram.
Okay, and the first Indigo flight that you can see on the right side of your screen. Smiling passengers inside the aircraft getting ready for the aircraft to push back and taxi off. These are India Today images that we're bringing you from inside the aircraft with permission, of course, and lots of saffron shawls and saffron scarves. Live pictures from the Ayodhya airport of Prime Minister Modi inaugurating the Maharishi Valmiki Airport, Ayodhya Dham. This is the Prime Minister flanked by Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister, and Jyotiraditya Scindia, the Civil Aviation Minister. The UP Governor Anandiben Patel is also there. Deputy CM Keshav Prasad Maurya and other dignitaries also there as the Prime Minister cuts the ribbon, formally throwing open the Ayodhya airport. Let's just listen into some of the commentary coming in from the ground.
शुरुआत है, इसका विस्तार अनंत है और शायद एक नई विकास यात्रा पर भारत को, भारत की आध्यात्मिक चेतना को ये पूरी दुनिया तक लेकर के जाएगा।
निश्चित तौर से अजय, हम यहाँ जरूर कहेंगे कि गोस्वामी तुलसीदास
Just inaugurated an airport that has taken a while to come up. It is very much a reflection of the holiness of Ayodhya. The construction, the architecture, the interiors all reflect the Ram Mandir in some way or the other. There are going to be scriptures on the walls, as India Today's Polomi was telling us a short while ago. Very much in keeping with the first port of call for devotees as they arrive in the holy city of Ayodhya, which has had, as you can see in every picture coming out of the holy city, a total makeover from its airport to its railway station. The insides of this airport have also been completely modernized, very much in keeping with what global travelers will be expecting as their first port of call when they arrive in Ayodhya. Polomi, who's going to be on the first flight out of Ayodhya in a short while from now, is with us. Polomi, the Prime Minister with the Civil Aviation Minister Scindia, the UP Chief Minister. We can also see General VK Singh, Keshav Prasad Maurya, Anandiben Patel, etc. Lots of others flanking the Prime Minister as he gets a full overview of this airport. Just take us through what the Prime Minister will be witnessing. Will he be, will he be flagging off one of those flights, or will, is an aircraft going to be landing in front of him? What are we going to see, Polomi?
Well, no, the aircraft, of course, will be landing after the Prime Minister has left. So he will, of course, he's inaugurated the airport already. He's probably taking a tour inside the airport, the terminal building at the moment, after which he'll shift immediately towards his public meeting venue where he will address the crowds who you see behind me. So that is, of course, his schedule. And after he leaves, that first inaugural flight will land in Ayodhya. And then, of course, you know, the commercial operations which begin January 6th from, of course, Delhi. That will be Indigo's first flight into Ayodhya. I beg your pardon. So this, of course, is a big moment as far as, you know, Ayodhya is concerned. Also for aviation, you know, the connectivity of tier 2, tier 3 cities, which has gone up manyfold as a result of the Udan scheme, the regional connectivity scheme, Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. And that is what has been, you know, the vision of the Prime Minister, that the option, of course, should be available to people who want to take flight, who want to possibly, you know, cut down on their travel time. They should, in fact, be connected to the major cities, to the national capital. And these airports should be built in areas where, of course, you never thought of building these airports for several long years. You know, far off mountainous terrain areas, northeastern states, of course, the mountain and mountain states of Himachal, Uttarakhand and others as well, and various tier 2, tier 3 cities. That has been the focus of the NDA government, while of course you improve connectivity with more flights catering to busy airports like Delhi, Mumbai as well, and of course add to you know, the capacity of these cities. You of course have the Delhi airport, you have 3 terminals over there, and then of course now you're building the Jewar airport, which will be closer for many who want to travel from Noida towards an airport. Jewar is going to be open in 2024 as well. Same goes for Mumbai. Navi Mumbai will open in 2024 as well. So keeping all of that in mind, now of course, you know, the focus of aviation has only grown. But while of course you're catering to these metro cities, the focus also has been on the smaller airports and building connectivity, building new terminal buildings, you know, making them bigger in terms of handling more passengers. And then of course a new airport like in Ayodhya as well.
Well, the airport looks absolutely magnificent. You know, everything that we can see in the pictures, Polomi, you know, totally suggests that this is a modern terminal that has just been inaugurated by the Prime Minister. You know, lots of paintings on the walls from the Ramayana scriptures can be seen here and there. That big model of the airport itself and the layout being presented to the Prime Minister by Jyotiraditya Scindia, the Civil Aviation Minister. You know, all the spirituality and divinity befitting an airport for Ayodhya, very much on display in what the Prime Minister is being shown. So a great deal of anticipation as the first flight is now headed towards Ayodhya, will be landing in a short while from now. Of course, after the Prime Minister departs from the airport, he's going to be heading to you know, the Sabha, which is adjoining the airport, the venue where India Today's Gaurav Sawant has been reporting from, where the Prime Minister will make a public address. It's his first public engagement of the day. He hasn't spoken so far today. He's, of course, spoken with certain families, including that of Meera Manjhi, some students. He spoke to students on board the Vande Bharat train that he flagged off from the Ayodhya Dham junction. But this is the first public engagement where the Prime Minister will be making his big speech today. So all set for that. Stand by for the Prime Minister's speech. He's currently, as far as we can tell, still inside the airport, being briefed by Jyotiraditya Scindia and his team about all the facilities. Remember, the Prime Minister is an individual who gets into the details. He doesn't hover above and simply delegate all work. When it's important to him, he gets into the meat of the issue. He has been briefed on all aspects of it, and those who know the Prime Minister know that the level of detail into which he goes in terms of knowing what's going on, you know, listing requirements, speaking to all levels of officials, officers, you know, and people involved in the, you know, in projects like this airport. Are something that always stand out. The Prime Minister takes a deep interest. He takes these briefings very, very seriously. he is listening to everything that is actually being said, and he always asks questions as well. So these are important things. These are not symbolic. They're not stage managed. An airport is by no means a showpiece. An airport is something that has very, very important value in terms of the economy of Uttar Pradesh is concerned, the overall surround sound and economy, the prosperity of the people of Ayodhya and the adjoining parts of Uttar Pradesh, all of it centered around the Ram Mandir, but also a huge ecosystem of economy that will rise as a result of the huge expected inflow of people from all around the country and all around the world, facilitated by a big modern airport that's capable of receiving multiple flights a day. So that's what this is really about, viewer. It's not just about a showpiece that's being inaugurated. The ribbon cutting that the Prime Minister has just done is opening the doors of Ayodhya to the world. In just a short moment from now, he will be making his public address. Gaurav Sawant is at the Sabha venue where the Prime Minister will be speaking. Gaurav, railway station inaugurated, airport inaugurated, and now it's going to be full steam ahead for the Prime Minister towards the consecration ceremony. But before that, he's going to be speaking at the venue where you're at right now. We understand that other leaders from the BJP and the UP government have been speaking in the run-up to the Prime Minister's address that is expected very shortly, Gaurav.
Shiv, the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has arrived. He's on stage. The Union Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, he's arrived. He's on stage. Ashwini Vaishnav, the Railways Minister, Jan V.K. Singh, Minister of State, Road Transport and Highways, they're all on stage, as is the entire leadership of the Uttar Pradesh BJP. They're all on stage. The Prime Minister is expected any moment. In fact, everyone was standing a moment ago with the cameras out, trying to record that moment, but they were told just wait a little, wait with chants of Jai Shri Ram. The UPCM was received similarly with chants of Jai Shri Ram. They will receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi when he arrives on stage. Absolutely, Shiv. This is where most of the schemes worth 17,500 crore rupees, 15,700 crore rupees. Schemes worth, projects worth 15,700 crore rupees will be dedicated to the nation, all launched right here in about 5 to 10 minutes from now. That is what is expected here. Plus the Prime Minister's vision, not just for Ayodhya, not just for Uttar Pradesh, but for the country from the land of Sri Ram. The Prime Minister, Shiv, you'd recall when the agitation for the Ram Janmabhoomi was on in 1990s, the Prime Minister, then as a Karyakarta of the Bharatiya Janata Party, had come here several times. In fact, then with Murli Manohar Joshi and Lal Krishna Advani, you can hear the excitement. You can hear the excitement in the ranks right behind of the Bharatiya Janata Party. So they're saying the Prime Minister's arrival is awaited in just a moment from now. So all the projects that the Prime Minister has been talking about of divinity and devotion at the same time, and development, civilizational goals and modern India. How does all of that go together? That is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be talking about. The Governor of Uttar Pradesh, Anandiben Patel, is also now on stage. So all eyes now on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Shiv.
Prime Minister Modi will be arriving on that stage in just a couple of minutes from now. Yogi Adityanath, the UP Chief Minister, is on stage. Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia is also on stage. We're expecting the Prime Minister to speak very, very shortly. Others, from the UP government and the BJP have already spoken. So we'll be cutting across live. Stand by, viewer, for the Prime Minister's big Ayodhya Address Part 1. We'll also be hearing from the Prime Minister later on January the 22nd, I'm sure. But the first big address by the Prime Minister in Ayodhya, part of a Jan Sabha, is about to kick off in just a moment from now. Thousands have already gathered. This is the Prime Minister a few minutes ago inaugurating the Maharishi Valmiki Airport, Ayodhya Dham, and he will be arriving shortly. Viewers from all across the world, this is the Prime Minister's first speech in Ayodhya. that you're about to watch. He's going to be on that stage in a few minutes from now. The decks are cleared now for that first big Ayodhya speech by the Prime Minister. We're standing by for that. The Prime Minister is expected to speak not just about Ayodhya but also beyond. The Prime Minister, who's just spoken to India today in a big interview. Okay, live pictures coming in. The Prime Minister has arrived. Let's listen in from the ground.
अभिभूत है, आह्लादित है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का आज इस ऐतिहासिक दिन हृदय की गहराइयों से स्वागत, अभिनंदन और वंदन, और आपकी तालियों के प्रणाम उनके चरणों तक पहुंचे। जोरदार तालियों से स्वागत करें। हम सब अभिभूत है, आह्लादित है। हमारी हृदय की भावनाओं को साकार रूप देने के लिए मैं सबसे पहले माननीय मुख्यमंत्री माननीय श्री योगी आदित्यनाथ जी से अनुरोध करूंगी कि हम सब की ओर से माननीय उप मुख्यमंत्री द्वय के साथ रामलला की मूर्ति, बाल राम लला की मूर्ति जो धनुष बाण के साथ है, उसे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय को भेंट कर उनका अभिनंदन करें। सिया राम मैं सब जग जानी, करहु प्रणाम जोरी जुग पानी। बहुत बहुत स्वागत, अभिनंदन और वंदन। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी कहते हैं कि रेल यात्रा सुलभ और सुखद होनी चाहिए। मंच पर आसीन है माननीय रेल मंत्री भारत सरकार श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव जी। हम उनसे अनुरोध करेंगे कि अपने उद्बोधन से सभी का स्वागत करें।
यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री माननीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी, माननीय राज्यपाल महोदया, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी, मंच पर विराजमान नेतृत्वगण, उपस्थित सज्जनों, श्री राम श्री अयोध्या जी की पुण्य पवित्र आध्यात्मिक नगरी में आज आप सबका मैं हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। प्रभु श्री राम की असीम कृपा और आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के विजन के कारण आज अयोध्या विश्व भर में चर्चा के केंद्र में है। 22 जनवरी को प्रभु श्री राम जी की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के अभूतपूर्व और ऐतिहासिक अवसर से पहले आज की तिथि भी अयोध्या जी के विकास की दृष्टि से बेहद महत्वपूर्ण है। प्रभु श्री राम जी से जुड़े कार्यों को आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी हमेशा श्रद्धा, विश्वास और भक्ति भाव के साथ तेज गति से आगे बढ़ाते हैं और इसी का परिणाम है कि आज हम भव्य और दिव्य अयोध्या का दर्शन कर पा रहे हैं। आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के दृढ़ संकल्प के कारण अयोध्या में आज विरासत और विकास का अनूठा संगम दिखाई दे रहा है। हम सभी का सौभाग्य है कि आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के विजन के अनुरूप पुनर्विकसित अयोध्या धाम स्टेशन का उद्घाटन उनके कर कमलों द्वारा किया गया। अयोध्या धाम स्टेशन के डिजाइन में अयोध्या की संस्कृति की झलक है और एक आधुनिकता भी है। और आज साथ ही साथ वंदे भारत ट्रेनों की श्रृंखला में 6 नई वंदे भारत ट्रेन आज माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आरंभ की है। आज दिल्ली से अयोध्या की पवित्र नगरी वंदे भारत से जुड़ गई है। साथ ही साथ आज आधुनिक तकनीक की बनी पुश पुल टेक्नोलॉजी पर आधारित 2 अमृत भारत ट्रेन भी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आरंभ की है और माता सीता की नगरी से प्रभु श्री राम की नगरी अमृत भारत ट्रेन से आज जुड़ गई है। आज रेल के बुनियादी ढांचे में भी माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी 2300 करोड़ रुपए के प्रोजेक्ट्स का अनावरण करेंगे। सज्जनों, साथियों, मैं केवल एक विषय रखूंगा। 2009 से 2014 तक उत्तर प्रदेश के लिए रेलवे का बजट मात्र 1109 करोड़ होता था। इतना बड़ा प्रदेश, इतना महत्वपूर्ण प्रदेश, और आज प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी उत्तर प्रदेश को रेलवे के लिए देते हैं 17,000 करोड़ रुपए, और उसका परिणाम है उत्तर प्रदेश में एक रेलवे प्रोजेक्ट में इतनी गति आई है। प्रधानमंत्री जी स्वयं बारीकी से एक प्रोजेक्ट को फॉलो अप करते हैं। आज उत्तर प्रदेश 100% इलेक्ट्रीफाई हो गया है रेलवे में, और इसके कारण नई नई सर्विसेज आरंभ हो पा रही है। विकास के इस नए दौर में आप सबका हार्दिक स्वागत है। एक बार फिर अयोध्या जी की इस पवित्र भूमि को नमन करता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद माननीय। ये नई अयोध्या है जो विकास की ऊंची उड़ान भरने के लिए तैयार है। इसमें अपना बहुमूल्य योगदान दे रहे हैं माननीय नगर विमानन एवं इस्पात मंत्री श्री ज्योतिरादित्य माधव राव सिंधिया जी। हम उनसे अनुरोध करेंगे कि आज के इस अवसर पर अपने विचार प्रकट करें।
मंच पर आसीन हमारे देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री परम आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी, मंच पर आसीन हमारी आदरणीय राज्यपाल आदरणीय आनंदीबेन पटेल जी, हमारे मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय योगी आदित्यनाथ जी, मंच पर आसीन समस्त मंत्रीगण, सांसदगण, विधायकगण, जिला पंचायत के अध्यक्षगण और अयोध्या नगरी में उपस्थित समस्त जनता जनार्दन को मेरा प्रणाम। आज का दिवस मेरे भाई और बहनों एक ऐतिहासिक दिवस है। वो दिवस है जिसके लिए हजारों सालों से इंतजार था। वो समय निकट आ चुका जिस समय में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का जो दृढ़ संकल्प था, उस संकल्प के आधार पर हमारे सूर्यवंशी अयोध्या नरेश भगवान श्री राम की दोबारा पुनः स्थापना प्राण प्रतिष्ठा 22 जनवरी को अयोध्या नगरी में की जाने वाली है। और उसी के तारतम्य में, उसी सोच और विचारधारा के साथ अगर अयोध्या को भारत के मानचित्र पर नहीं विश्व के मानचित्र पर लाना है, जो प्रधानमंत्री जी का संकल्प है, तो आज प्रधानमंत्री जी उपस्थित हुए हैं केवल रेल की सुविधा के साथ नहीं, लेकिन एयरपोर्ट की सुविधा के साथ साथ, ताकि देश की एक एक जन जन इस अयोध्या नगरी के साथ जुड़ पाए। और यही एक सोच विचारधारा है भारत की अमृत काल की इस पीढ़ी पर, जहां भारत एक तरफ एक आर्थिक नक्षत्र की तरह उभर रहा है, तो दूसरी तरफ भारत प्रधानमंत्री जी का संकल्प है कि आध्यात्मिक नक्षत्र की तरह भी उभरे। चाहे देवघर का एयरपोर्ट हो, कुशीनगर का एयरपोर्ट हो, अयोध्या धाम का एयरपोर्ट हो, चाहे मेरे राज्य में महाकाल लोक का निर्माण हो, केदारनाथ बद्रीनाथ का निर्माण हो, काशी विश्वनाथ का निर्माण हो, भारत आज विश्व पटल पर एक आध्यात्मिक शक्ति के रूप में प्रधानमंत्री जी के आशीर्वाद के आधार पर उभर रही है। और आने वाले दिनों में 22 तारीख को भारत की आत्मा में स्थित द्वीप पुनः ज्वलित होगी और इसे ज्वलित करने का काम भारत के प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी, जो भारत की आत्मा की ज्वाला है, उनके करकमलों के साथ की जाएगी। हवाई अड्डे का निर्माण प्रधानमंत्री जी का निर्देश था। ऐसा भव्य हवाई अड्डा बनना चाहिए जिसका विश्व स्वरूप हो। और हमारी कोशिश रही है इस 500 करोड़ रुपए के हवाई अड्डे पर, जहां करीब करीब 10 लाख यात्री प्रति वर्ष के आवागमन होगा, उसी के साथ भारत की कला, भारत की संस्कृति का एक एक नक्षत्र भगवान श्री राम की जीवन शैली को लेते हुए कोने कोने में अंकित की जाए। उड़ीसा की पट्टचित्र हो या हमारी बिहार की मधुबनी की हो या उसी के साथ राजा रवि वर्मा जी की कला हो, कलमकारी आंध्र प्रदेश की हो, हर दीवार पर नई नई अंकित की गई है हमारी कला और हमारी सोच और विचारधारा। पर यह मात्र शुरुआत है। प्रधानमंत्री जी की सोच है कि द्वितीय श्रेणी में इस एयरपोर्ट का विस्तारीकरण किया जाए। 3750 मीटर का रनवे बनेगा। देश नहीं विदेश के बड़े बड़े विमान बोइंग 777 और एयरबस 350 भी अयोध्या नगरी में लैंड करेंगे। ये प्रधानमंत्री जी का संकल्प है मेरे भाई और बहनों। और उसी के साथ जहां 65,000 स्क्वायर फुट का अभी एयरपोर्ट बना है, वही 5 लाख स्क्वायर फुट का एयरपोर्ट अगले फेज में बनने जा रहा है अयोध्या के अंदर मेरे भाई और बहनों। और आज के शुभ दिवस पर जहां प्रधानमंत्री जी के करकमलों से हमारे ट्रेनों की श्रृंखला की शुरुआत हुई है, वहीं इसी एयरपोर्ट पर इंडिगो और एयर इंडिया के दो विमान देश की राजधानी राजनीतिक राजधानी दिल्ली को देश की धार्मिक राजधानी अयोध्या के साथ जोड़ने जा रहे हैं मेरे भाई और बहनों। और आने वाले 15-20 दिनों के अंदर भारत के कोने कोने को हमारे अयोध्या के साथ जोड़ा जाएगा, चाहे अहमदाबाद हो, चाहे मुंबई हो, चाहे बंगलुरु हो, चाहे कोलकाता हो। ये प्रधानमंत्री जी का संकल्प है। तो आज अगर देश में सबसे बड़ी कोई शक्ति है जो विपक्षी सरकारों ने अयोध्या को कभी मान सम्मान नहीं दिया, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने वो संकल्प लिया कि अयोध्या को विश्व पटल पर हम लोग निखारेंगे। जो सनातन धर्म को नष्ट करने की बात करते थे, जो कहते थे कि प्रभु श्री राम केवल काल्पनिक है, अगर इस देश में विश्वास है तो केवल प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की गारंटी का विश्वास है। और वो गारंटी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी जो सेवा, सुशासन और गरीब कल्याण की सरकार, वो प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की गारंटी जिन्होंने 2020 में भगवान श्री राम का हमारे मंदिर का शिलान्यास करवाया, वही प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की गारंटी जिसके आधार पर प्राण प्रतिष्ठा हो रहा है, और वही प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की गारंटी जिसके आधार पर एक नवीन हवाई अड्डा और रेल स्टेशन की सुविधा मिल रही है। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ प्रधानमंत्री जी का स्वागत और धन्यवाद तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट से हम सब लोग करें। जय हिंद, जय भारत।
धन्यवाद माननीय प्रधानमंत्री महोदय के विजन को मिशन के रूप में अपनाकर उत्तर प्रदेश को सुरक्षा, सुशासन और विकास के पथ पर तेजी से आगे ले जा रहे हैं माननीय मुख्यमंत्री श्री योगी आदित्यनाथ जी। मैं बहुत ही आदर के साथ माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी से अनुरोध करूंगी कि अपने उद्बोधन के लिए पधारें।
जय जय श्री राम, जय जय श्री राम। अवधपुरी सोहई ए भांति प्रभु मिलन आई जनु राती। अवधपुरी इस प्रकार से शोभित हो रही है मानो प्रभु से मिलने आई हो। आज देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी का अयोध्या में आगमन होकर के नए भारत के एक नई अयोध्या का वह स्वयं लोकार्पण करने के लिए आए हैं। भाइयों बहनों, इस अवसर पर आप सब की ओर से, उत्तर प्रदेश वासियों की ओर से और देश और दुनिया भर के राम भक्तों की ओर से मैं आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं। मंच पर उपस्थित आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, प्रदेश की माननीय राज्यपाल आदरणीय श्रीमती आनंदीबेन पटेल जी, केंद्रीय रेल मंत्री माननीय श्री अश्विनी वैष्णव जी, केंद्रीय नागरिक उड्डयन और इस्पात मंत्रालय के मंत्री माननीय श्री ज्योतिरादित्य सिंधिया जी, जनरल वीके सिंह जी, उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार में मेरे सहयोगी उप मुख्यमंत्री द्वय श्री केशव प्रसाद मौर्य जी, श्री ब्रजेश पाठक जी, मंत्रिमंडल के मेरे सभी सहयोगीगण, यहां के माननीय सांसद श्री लल्लू सिंह जी, अन्य सभी सम्मानित जनप्रतिनिधिगण और उपस्थित भाइयों और बहनों, अवधपुरी प्रभु आवत जानी भई सकल शोभा के खानी। प्रभु आ रहे हैं और 22 जनवरी को आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के ही कर कमलों से प्रभु अपने भव्य मंदिर में विराजमान हो रहे हैं। भाइयों बहनों, 500 वर्षों का इंतजार समाप्त होने जा रहा है। प्रभु के आगमन के पहले प्रधानमंत्री जी का संकल्प था ना, अयोध्या को दुनिया की सुंदरतम नगरी के रूप में स्थापित करेंगे। और भाइयों बहनों, आज आपने देखा होगा जिस भव्यता के साथ प्रधानमंत्री जी का स्वागत अयोध्या वासियों ने किया है, एक नए भारत की नई अयोध्या का दर्शन हम सबको कराता है। अयोध्या बेहतरीन 4 लेन, 6 लेन और 8 लेन की कनेक्टिविटी, रोड कनेक्टिविटी से, रोड मार्ग से जुड़ा है। इसका उद्घाटन प्रधानमंत्री जी के कर कमलों से भी होने जा रहा है। रेल की बेहतरीन सुविधा अयोध्या से, नए रेलवे स्टेशन के साथ साथ वंदे भारत ट्रेन का शुभारंभ और 2 नई ट्रेन अमृत भारत के नाम पर आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने अयोध्या को सीतामढ़ी से, प्रभु राम की जन्मभूमि से माता सीता के प्रकटीकरण के स्थल पर जोड़ने के लिए इस रेल की कार्यक्रम को भी आज शुभारंभ किया है। और साथ साथ भगवान राम तो त्रेता में पुष्पक विमान से अयोध्या आए होंगे, आज प्रधानमंत्री जी ने इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट का उपहार भी अयोध्या वासियों को दे दिया है। इसका उद्घाटन करके प्रधानमंत्री जी यहां पर आए हैं। उत्तर प्रदेश के विकास और अयोध्या के विकास से जुड़े हुए हजारों करोड़ की इन परियोजनाओं के लिए मैं उत्तर प्रदेश वासियों की ओर से आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, उनका स्वागत करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं। भाइयों बहनों, ये वही अयोध्या है जहां का नाम लेने में लोग संकोच करते थे। आने की बात तो दूर, एक नया रिकॉर्ड भी बन गया है। अयोध्या आने वाले, सबसे अधिक समय तक आने वाले और सबसे अधिक बार आने वाले प्रधानमंत्री में भी मोदी जी का नाम आ गया है।